And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on tonight. There's a whole lot of topics all over the internets, all over social media, all over the mainstream media. Where do I begin? Let's talk about this activist judge out there in Illinois that stripped a mother of her parental rights due to not getting the shot, only to give them back to her after we, meaning you guys, blew the story up. It wasn't until everybody put their eyes on it when there was some change made. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. Also, Biden had a very interesting term to refer to his black senior advisor, Cedric Richmond. We'll talk about that as well. Also, the Antifa teacher out there in Sacramento who is exposed to the world for what he is. There's some breaking news about that we'll get to as well. Also, this whole Afghanistan kerfuffle it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I'm not sure how it can get worse. I think Joe Biden is doing everything he can to make the whole situation worse, trying to call the president, talking about make the Taliban look weaker than what they are, leaving the dogs at the airport. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be anywhere, but you're right here with me. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Shout out to everybody that's listening. If you're listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple iTunes, etc., please give me a 5-star rating, a like, a comment, a review, a share, whatever you can over there. Whatever you can do over there, pardon me, I most certainly appreciate it. And if you don't know, this show will be available on those aforementioned platforms after this live stream on the YouTube is over with. Links for that will be in the description box, or just go to your platform of choice and search for ABL Live. I should pop right on up. It'll be a red icon. You'll know that it's me. Also, shout out to all the sponsors. You guys already know how I do at the very beginning. I give a shout out to all the sponsors because they help keep the whole movement moving. Shout out to patriotpost.us. If you don't know where to go for news, a lot of you guys ask me because I read all day, every day, right? That's part of my job really is to read. These glasses are not just for fashion, right? I have to actually read all day. So a great source for me and a sponsor of the show is patriotpost.us. A lot of good original content, been around 20-25 years, and they're local out here in Tennessee. I met the guys running the website. They're excellent, fantastic, great people. Again, patriotpost.us. Links for them should be in the description box below. Also, go to Mr1920.com, Mr1920.com to get some of your beautiful handmade American soaps. That's right, soaps. No more corner store body solutions, detergent. Get some real soap. Mr1920.com. Links for them will be in the description box. Also, of course, my main guys over at bhedesigns.com. They make these beautiful handmade American wooden flags that are right behind me. You could get ones that are just like these, that they're large, no gloss, or you can get ones that fit what you like. You know, somebody special to you. It could be a gift for them. It could be somebody in the military. You could put an inscription on it. You could do whatever you want. Just go to the website, email them and say, hey, ABL sent me. What can we get done? Again, bhedesigns.com. And of course, I got to give myself a shout out. Go to anthonyblogan.com. For every video I do, I write an article. That's part of the process. I record myself, edit. I do everything. I record, edit, write the article, make the thumbnail. I do it all. So go to that website, anthonyblogan.com, to read the articles and see my sources. One thing I always do is I source everything. So nobody can say, oh, ABL, that didn't happen. Rochelle Walensky didn't say that the vaccine cannot stop the spread, the transmission, meaning the spread or the catching it. Yes, she did say it. Here's the article. Here's the source. Here's her on video. Go to the website. Sometimes YouTube won't let certain videos play, but I can always play whatever I want that's legal, of course, on my website, anthonyblogan.com. And of course, we got the merch. I got brand new merch coming, so y'all just hang tight. That's ablmerch.com. All right. So that's all my sponsors right there. And thank you all for watching. But let's get straight into these topics. We got a whole lot going on. I think I want to go straight to the activist judge, because this one right here, I kind of feel this one. This is a little bit more personal. I don't have any children, but I grew up in single parent household. I didn't see the dynamic between divorce, parents. I grew up seeing that in my own house. I saw it in other houses, and I know people going through certain things. I won't say nothing else about anyone else. I just know what I've been through, and I know what is going on here, or I can feel what's going on here. Now, if you guys didn't see my video, let me just give you the brief synopsis, then we get into the details. Now, a Cook County judge was involved with a child support hearing. You know how they do in some of these left states and probably all over the country. I'm not really sure. I've not been to court anytime soon, anytime recently. But the hearing was on Zoom. They were there for a child support hearing. And for a little bit more context, you have a divorced couple, been divorced 7 years. They have joint custody of their 11-year-old son, mother and the father, just one child that's in question as far as I know. They have split custody, 50-50. Half the time over here, half the time over there. So they were on the Zoom call for child support. I guess the father was trying to get the mother to pay child support. Okay, that's kind of a key thing to understand, because that normally doesn't go that way. Normally, when it's child support, it's the father paying the mother, not the mother paying the father. So pretty interesting. Anyway, you have a child support hearing for the mother to pay the father child support. And at a certain point in the hearing, from what I'm able to read, it was unprompted. The discussion was not even about this. The judge says, hey, yes, Cook County, Chicago, NK. So Chicago. The judge was like, hey, have you been vaccinated? And she's like, no, because I've had problems with other shots before. So I don't want to risk my health. And the judge was like, check it out. Until you become vaccinated, you do not have custody to your child anymore. No split custody, no weekends, no nothing, no in-person visitation at all. All the mother was able to do for 3 weeks was just call the boy or do a video chat, but she was not allowed to be in his presence until she went out and got the shot. Now, is this legal? I mean, just a question. I'm no lawyer. I don't have any legal advice, so don't misconstrue this video as legal advice. It's not. It's only entertainment, so don't nobody try to sue me. Anyway, lawsuits. I digress. My point is that I'm no lawyer. I don't know what the law is when it comes to that. Can a judge say, I'm going to strip you of your rights due to not getting the shot? I mean, is that part of the agreement when you go into the custody and you get joint custody 50-50? Is that part of the whole thing where you say, all right, well, check it out. If you don't do whatever I say, whenever I say, then you lose your rights. Is that how that works? If you don't do whatever I think or feel as a judge, then you can't see your child anymore? How does that really work? And the crazy part, maybe not so crazy because of how family court and sometimes these things can become very bitter. The father's lawyer said that they didn't anticipate that happening. That wasn't really on the table to try and take custody away because of the shot situation. But the lawyer said that he supports the decision because you got to be safe being around these kids. Now, that's crazy for a couple of reasons. First of all, sir, lawyer, are you a doctor? How are you going to make that determination? Like, how are you going to say that's all right? Are you a medical professional? Do you have any experience in this field? Even if you are a doctor, you could be the best doctor on planet Earth. You could come down from the sky with angel wings on and a shirt that say doctor on it. I don't care. At the end of the day, you can't just make up laws arbitrarily whenever you want to do it and say, all right, because of my opinion as a medical professional or a lawyer or some, dope fiend on the street, I think you should not have custody anymore of your child. That's not how that works. We have an agreement. Let's stick to it. And that's it. If there's an actual reason, like the mom's on drugs, beating the kid, doing something illegal that has already been known to be illegal, then at that point, we can make something happen, but not arbitrarily because you don't want to do what I want you to do when I want you to do it. That's not how that goes. So when the lawyer said that, I'm like, okay, there might be a little skullduggery going on here. Maybe this was something that they colluded with to try and get full custody, because I've seen it happen a lot. The father's not able to get full custody. The mom's on drugs, a bad mom, and the father's trying to do whatever they can, any kind of trickery to try and get the child into their home and away from the mother. And then this avenue might have been the way to go forward. Maybe that's why the lawyer says he supports it. I have no idea, but I'm speculating here. You understand what I'm saying? All that I do know is that the judge said you cannot have custody of your child at all. No in-person visitation, nothing. No 50% custody until you get the shot. Now, that was in place from, I think, August 9th until August 30th. So about 3 weeks and about 2 weeks and change, almost 3 full weeks. It was quite a while. So the judge went ahead and reversed that. And the reversal only happened when the case went national. After I did my video, after it made the news locally and nationally, after a lot of people spoke up and said something about it, then he backed off. But it should never happen to begin with. Like, it doesn't matter if you back off. That doesn't take the decision away. You still did it, and it was still in effect for 3 weeks. So there's got to be punishment. I'm not sure what it's called when you take a judge off the bench. Is it called disbarment like you do with a lawyer? Can you disbar a judge? Whatever the case may be, the judge shouldn't be there anymore in Cook County. And we've seen some crazy things in Crook County, Illinois. I mean, Chicago, it's a lot of corruption happening there. Remember Kim Foxx and the whole Juicy Smouye situation, colluding with the Obama friend, talking about, well, he's a friend to us and, don't need to go to jail. And then the whole case kind of got thrown up under the, just kind of like swept under the rug. It wasn't really a big deal. We've seen some corrupt things happening in Chicago, but when you're involving kids, see, it's one thing to do crazy things with adults. You shouldn't do anything illegal to anyone. You shouldn't strip anyone of their rights. But when you involve children with political stuff, because that's what this was, it was a political message and or a way for the father to try and, finesse the situation and try and get custody. Maybe the second one is true. Maybe it's not. But the first part of that is most certainly true. It's a political thing. It's a personal feelings thing. Because here's the funny part. Well, not really funny, but funny nonetheless. They're talking about the mother needs to be vaccinated in order to protect the child from getting sick. But Rochelle Walensky already said that the shot does not prevent the transmission of the virus, meaning you can catch the virus and spread it if you're vaccinated. And she said it in no uncertain terms. She said the vaccine cannot stop transmission. So when I see things where people say, oh, well, it can reduce transmission, it can kind of slow transmission. No, it can't. So, I mean, and if it can, where are you getting that from? If the people that want you to go out there and get this shot, the people that are going on television telling you everything up under the sun to get this shot, if the very same people that impose an eviction moratorium told you can't even have rights to your own property because of this whole thing, if they go on TV and say this cannot stop transmission, where are you getting it from that it can stop transmission? They're telling you what's going on. They're telling you. They would love to tell you that it can stop transmission, but they know that they can't do that because that's not the case. Jesse Jackson is still recovering from having the virus, although he was double vaccinated. Talking about he's in a rehab facility because he has Parkinson's. Is it because he has Parkinson's, or is it because he got sick and now he needs to recover? I mean, if you already had Parkinson's before the shot, before he got sick, then shouldn't he have already been in the hospital trying to get himself together? If the only reason why he's in the hospital recovering is because he has, you see what I'm saying? So obviously something happened. Maybe he got injured from the shot. Who knows? But they know they can't say that anymore. So they got to say that it does not stop the spread. So the whole thing about, well, you got to be vaccinated to prevent getting your child sick, it wasn't going to happen anyway. It wasn't going to happen. It doesn't matter if you got a shot or not. It's purely political and/or a ploy that they may have colluded on to get the child away from the mother and to the father, allegedly. But whatever the case may be, that judge has got to go immediately. Immediately, right now. I'm talking about do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to the gulag, big rocks, little rocks, in my humble opinion. And look into the father and see what's going on. Look into the whole situation. What's going on with the mom? What's going on with the dad? And figure that out, because this whole thing was a mess. And I have a feeling that this is not the first time this has happened, nor will it be the last time, unfortunately. I got a feeling that this is going to be, creeping up a lot, where people are not able to see their children or do other things because of the shot. And the crazy thing that I see, people say, well, just get the shot. You have a choice. Get the shot, right? But see, people like that, those people would have complied during World War II Germany. They'll comply all the way to the train. Oh, they say get on the train. The train's nice. It's comfy. I'm not sure where I'm going. Maybe I'll go to a nice little camp where I get to play video games and stuff like that. It'd be great, right? I mean, it sounds far-fetched. It sounds like I got it on a tinfoil hat, but we see it happening in China. We see it already. We see Xinjiang, a.k.a. East Turkestan. It's an area of China that's not China. These people may appear to be, quote-unquote, Asian in the face, may appear to be, quote-unquote, Chinese, but they are not Chinese. You have the Han Chinese, who are the primary ethnic group in mainland China, and then you have East Turkestan, Xinjiang province. They're their own thing. They're more like Tajiks and Kazakhs than anything else. They're not really Chinese. But yet here you have China going over there being imperialist, making them learn Mandarin, putting them in quote unquote camps, re-education camps, putting them on trains. So the very same ones that say, oh, just go get the shot and see your kid, they'll be the same one that say, oh, just get on the train and you can see your kid again. They're not going to stop. Once you allow them to take this particular right, where do they stop? Hey, and shout out to you on Twitter. I'm not sure who you are right now, but thank you for sending me this. I got to show you guys a clip right now of how they progress. What they call it, progressive. This is how they progress. Here's a clip from UK. Now, I'm going to play this. It's going to be a little sad, but I got to play it, and then I'm going to just lighten it up a little bit after that. But I got to play this right now early on, and then we'll just keep on moving. We'll keep on moving. Let's get this up on the screen. Let's get some audio. And you guys may have seen this clip already. But this is from Luke Radowski. He's the one that posted it. I'm not sure if he recorded it. I don't know what's going on. I think it's just a clip of a TV show that someone put on TikTok and he re-uploaded it. But the caption that he wrote says, this is what your draconian, idiotic lockdown policies create. Again, if you say, just get the shot, get your kid, just stay locked down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 years, where do they stop? If you just say, yeah, go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Yeah, go ahead and do it. Where does it end? Does it ever end? If you give him an inch, how many miles will they take?
So I rang up the doctor for an appointment.
Oh, and just for a little bit of background, we started over again. So there's a host, like a TV host, and he's taking calls. And then someone named Nick calls in from Northamptonshire. So what you're hearing right now is the caller speaking to the host on the phone. So he can't see the guy. He's just talking to him on the phone.
So I rang up the doctor for an appointment. I was categorically refused an appointment and told to take a photograph and send it in. I'm sorry, but I get a bit emotional. I then took the photograph and sent it in, and to my delight, they rang me back a few hours later and said, the doctor said, you've got an infection, we'll give you some antibiotics. I took the antibiotics, obviously, for over a week, and several weeks later, my wife said to me, you need to ring the doctor again, it's getting worse. So I rang the doctor again to be categorically told that the doctors wouldn't see me. I then said to them, I've been double jabbed, I'll wear a mask, I'll even wear rubber gloves, but I insist on seeing a doctor. Anyway, they did see me this time, and they referred me to have a biopsy done, of which they told me it was cancerous. And I was then referred to Leicester Royal Infirmary, where I was told because of the delay it was inoperable and I've got less than 12 months to live unless I have therapy. I'm now having therapy, but I'm in terrible pain, and it's just disgraceful. If the doctor had seen me back in February, I'm sure they could have been able to operate and remove it. I've since shown that photograph to many medical professionals, and none of them can believe that I wasn't referred directly to dermatology to have it inspected.
You see where we're going? You see where we're going? You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, hey, just comply. Because we got to be safe, right? Keep everybody safe, right? It don't matter that you got the shot. It don't matter that you're going to wear a mask. It don't matter that you're going to put on whatever. Nah, we're going to tell you that you can't do X, Y, and Z. You can't even go see a doctor. Now you got to suffer. The man may have a fatal condition that could have been easily prevented. He did everything they told him to do. Stay home, get the shot, get this, get that, get this, get that. And the man almost died as a result. Easily preventable, but yet here we are. That's also how you're going to have socialized medicine. And you know what? The sad part is that I was reading some of the comments from a lot of the UK people, and they were saying that kind of story happens a lot, and it happened before the lockdowns. Socialism, right? That's what happens. When people say there's going to be like death panels, this is what they're talking about. Stuff like that. You see, it's like, who gets to get treatment and who doesn't? Shout out to his wife for being persistent and saying, hey, you need to get that checked out. I know you're complying with the doctors and whatever they say, talking about send a picture. You got a cancer growth. It's talking about, yeah, send a picture of it. We'll see. Oh, it's an infection. How you going to be able to determine, how can you diagnose a thing by not seeing the person in person? You see what I'm saying? It's crazy, but here we are. So this is what I'm talking about when I say at a certain point, you got to draw the line. Don't just think if you keep complying and not making a fuss about things you know are wrong. See, it's one thing to have a society where we all know that certain things are correct or incorrect. Some people say, don't comply with the police when you get pulled over. It's like, okay, you got pulled over. Everybody knows you can't be speeding. Don't try to be Mr. Rocket Scientist at a traffic stop. Give me your license, registration, keep on moving. You know what I'm saying? You were speeding, might be a little drunk or something like that. Okay, just comply with that situation. We all know that's something that is okay. It's legal. It's accepted in society. But when they say, hey, you can't see your kids because you didn't get a shot. Wait a minute. We don't accept that in society. That's not part of civil discourse. That's not how we operate here. That's not what we do. It'll be the same thing like if you are in Afghanistan and they say, hey, put on this hijab, this burqa. Well, that's part of society over there. The majority probably agree with that. So, I mean, that's just society over there, but you can't bring that over here. You can't have somebody become a leader over here and just demand compulsory burqas. It's not going to rock. That's not part of our society. So we're going to resist against that. But if we say something like, hey, man, you got to put on clothes. You can't be running around here with your stuff hanging out. okay, cool. That's not really a thing you're going to have to resist against. You understand? But I think some people kind of live in the alternate universe. And I think part of what I try to do is to get everybody back on planet Earth, to snatch them down from the clouds and get them back down to Earth. So we can kind of have, kind of a unifying culture. This is why multiculturalism is not necessarily a good thing. I'm not saying everybody's got to be the same. There can be some differences, but it can't just be like everyone is so different to where they can't get along and where we don't know where the lines are. We don't know what line to not cross, or we don't understand how to interact with each other. Therefore, there's constant friction and battling and chaos. You see? So, yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with that. But again, draw a line in the sand and don't let anybody cross it. But thank y'all again for being here. I most certainly appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you have been hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you've not done so, also like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And where are we going to go next? There's a whole lot we got to tackle tonight. I'm just getting ramped up. Let's talk about Joe Biden and the interesting term that he used to refer to Cedric Richmond. Now, Joe Biden was talking to Cedric Richmond, who is his senior advisor, and he's black, 47 years old, has kids, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even grandkids, because at 47, when my dad was 47, I probably was like, how old was I? Probably, I don't know, 23. Maybe I was an adult. Put it to you like that. I was already a full-grown adult. Cause my dad was 25 when I was born. So yeah, I was already a full-grown adult. He probably got kids and grandkids. But my point is that this is a fully grown man, not a child, and he's a member of Congress. He is or was the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus. So somebody that has a little bit of importance, a name in DC, not some staffer, some intern, something like that. But listening to Joe Biden, I can't really tell that he was anything beyond a staffer or an intern. Let's see if I can find that clip. So Biden, what he was doing, he was at this FEMA conference. And, because you had the hurricane that came through, right? And he was just, talking at the very beginning, doing little pleasantries, introducing people. He spoke about a young lady that was there, spoke about his senior advisor, and used the term boy to refer to Cedric Richmond. Here's a video on the Bongino Report on Rumble. And just to give a little bit of clarity, context here, the word boy, when you're talking to, first of all, beyond the race part, there's a race part here, but beyond the race part, if you're talking about a colleague, an adult male, you probably don't want to use the term boy when you're referring to him. And he didn't say it in the context of, good old Louisiana boy, good old boy. He didn't say it like that. That's not what was going on. He said it in a really weird way. And the racial context is that black males were called boy a lot by racist whites in the South. And especially like on the plantation, it was just like boy, because you weren't even really considered to be a man. It was just like, come here, boy. So it's like a lot of racial stuff going on there. So I'm not necessarily even saying that Joe Biden is racist. However, if he's not a racist, he's doing a really good job of convincing me he is, because we've seen multiple times where he's done things like this and everybody gives him a pass. Remember the whole thing about poor kids just as smart as white kids? Okay, so if they're not white, then so you see everybody that's non-white is poor. Then it was, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Said that on the Breakfast Club like it was nothing. I know about roaches, speaking to a bunch of black kids. So it's always this kind of, it's like a lack of respect there, and or racism. Always. It's constant. It's not just a one-off thing where you could just say, oh, that was just a mistake. Because when I saw the headline, I was like, nah, he didn't say it like that. I try to give him a pass. I try to give him a little bit of a, I was like, no, he didn't say it like that. But then when I heard it, and then when I remember his past, I'm like, well, wait a minute. This just fits in with Joe Biden. This is pretty much him. And I can guarantee you this before we get to the video. I can guarantee you this. If this were Donald Trump, there would be no passes given. The media wouldn't even do what I just did, which was just explain why, give prior instances, nor would they say when they first heard it, they didn't even really believe it, and they wanted to defend him. As I said, they wouldn't do that. They would jump to immediately racism. Remember the whole thing about, there goes my African American. That happened on the campaign trail before he got elected in 2016. Now, that guy that he was talking to came back in 2020, 4 years later, during the campaign that he was running against Joe Biden. He was talking about, oh, well, that affected me and all this and that. Matter of fact, hold on. Okay, here's an article right here. I'm not making it up, I promise. This is on CNN. Again, the incident happened in 2016 during the campaign between Trump and Hillary Clinton, before he even got elected. Early 2016, like this is before. But here we are in 2020, right around this time in 2020, September 13, 2020, almost a year ago. And the headline from CNN says, Trump called him my African American. His life has been the same since. A whole op-ed. Like, they got a video. They got all of that. So I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, it's no big deal, let it go. They held on to it for years. And everybody knows that Trump is the furthest thing from a racist. Trump is the kind of guy that would always help the black community since forever. 70s, 80s. That was always the case with Trump. Not with Joe Biden. When Trump was hanging out with Rosa Parks, Muhammad Ali, Super Cat, all these guys in the club, getting awards, giving money to black folks, when he was funding Rand Paul to go to Haiti to do free eye surgeries on the Haitians, free eye surgeries because, Rand Paul's a doctor, an ophthalmologist. When he was doing that, Joe Biden was creating the 94 crime bill, super predators, all that good. That's what Joe Biden was doing. But yet Trump is the one called a racist, and Joe Biden's giving the pass. Whatever he does, you know what? It's to the point now where if Joe Biden were to use the hard N-word, just use it with no context, just to say it'll be crickets. It'll be total crickets. They wouldn't say a word because they want to defend him. They know something's wrong with this guy. They know he's not right, but so what? All right, let's get to the clip here I do have that I want to play for you guys of Joe Biden's latest racial quote-unquote gaffe.
We're waiting for a few more people to get on, but we're going to get started, if that's okay with you all. And thanks for joining me. I'm here. The FEMA director is on. FEMA Director Chris Wells, she's on. And I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans, and Cedric Richmond.
Okay, one more time because you didn't hear it.
Director's on. Chris Wells, she's on. And I'm here with my senior advisor and boy who knows Louisiana very, very well, man, and New Orleans, and Cedric Richmond.
Boy, man, 47 years old. Why would you say that? No apology, nothing. It's just like, nah, I mean, it's just whatever. It's just whatever. The media didn't cover it. No problem. And as I said, if that were Trump saying something like that, oh my goodness. You wouldn't hear. Years they covered that my African American. Years. 4 years. Not even the peep from the media on this one. Clear double standard. So when the media is talking about racism and all this, Black Lives Matter, all this, that, and the third, you got to ask yourself, is it genuine? Or are these just talking points? Or are these just ways to get ratings and to get views and to attack their political opponents? is it really real? Because if it's real, then you would address it regardless of where it comes from. You wouldn't just address it occasionally, depending upon who the allegation is against. All right? We know it's not real. So anytime I see the mainstream media say anything, I don't believe it. I don't believe anything I see on TV anymore. If I see a thing on TV and I want to know more about it, I'll do my own research. I don't believe anything. CNN, especially MS-13 DNC, whatever they put on, I feel like it's going to be blown out of context. It's not really going to be real. Case in point right there. Yep. So you could do no wrong. But hey, I think this whole thing with Afghanistan was one thing they wanted to just say, okay, let's attack them on that, because we always give him a pass for everything else. You know, when he fell down on the stairs, he looked crazy. We gave him a pass. When he went home to Wilmington, we didn't really do anything. We gave him a pass. Oh, and speaking of Joe Biden and how the media wasn't handling him with kid gloves, now there's a new poll that's come out from Rasmussen, right? There's a new poll from Rasmussen where, let's put it on the screen right quick so I can show you better than I can tell you. The poll says 52% of voters say Biden should resign, 60% favor impeachment over Afghanistan. This is a Rasmussen poll. So this don't look too good. Now, for a guy with these kind of numbers, you would think there would be more negative coverage of him on the mainstream media, but there's not. They give him a pass for pretty much whatever he does, except for the whole Afghanistan kerfuffle. And I think that's kind of like blown over. I was seeing some outrage from some Democrat politicians when it first happened, but now I'm seeing fewer and fewer of those kind of stories make the front page news. Maybe they're happening, but not as much. But here we are. And the question is it going to go toward impeachment? Speaking about impeachment, speaking about ways that Biden can get out of here, and speaking about Trump as well, did you guys see the phone call transcript? Now, there was a phone call between Joe Biden and the quote unquote president of Afghanistan. And the reason why I say quote unquote president is because the guy, what's his name? Ashraf Ghani. The guy Ashraf Ghani was the president of Afghanistan, but he fled right when the Taliban took over. And he fled with like $170 million in cash, like in actual bills, and a bunch of helicopters and cars and everything else. I'm not sure where he is right now. He might be in UAE somewhere, living it up. I think he has kids in America, living high on the hog. Now, my question is, what do you do as an Afghan president that you're able to live so lavishly, and the same thing for your kids? What are they doing to live so high on the hog? What's going on? Why do you have so much money in U.S. American? Are you being paid by the federales to do what? To flee when the tough get going? I don't know. But anyway, so there was a phone call between Joe Biden and the, I guess, former president of Afghanistan. This is back at the end of July this year, I think July 23rd. And on this phone call, Joe Biden said, hey, we know you're having a hard time with the Taliban, but check it out. I need you to project strength. Make it look like the Taliban are losing. They may be winning or losing. That fact doesn't matter. Is what he said on the transcript. And I have it on my website. You can check it out, anthonylogan.com. It doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. I need you to make it look like the Taliban are losing. Make the Afghanistan, the Afghan government look like they're strong. Make the Afghan military look like they're strong. Because we have an issue with perception over here in the West and some of our allies. Now, what he means by the perception issue, he's not talking about our military forces here in the West or in the U.S. or with our allies. He's talking about regular, everyday normies like you and I. He was trying to convince us, the American people and other people, that the Afghanistan thing wasn't as bad as what it was looking like as far as Taliban taking over. So there's a few things right there. As a matter of fact, let me pull up that quote from the transcript so you guys can see it. And again, I source everything. I got left, right, independent, whatever you want to name sources. There's a few things there. So did the president go to Qatar or UAE? Okay. But there's a few things there. First of all, Joe Biden initially said, well, he said to us that he had no idea that the Taliban would take over so quickly. Well, if that is the case, then why was it a point of his to call the Afghan president and have him try to make it look like the Taliban were losing? Why do that? You know that the Taliban were winning. Everybody knew with the Taliban, they knew the Taliban were going to succeed. Everyone knew this. This was not a secret. They were already succeeding. Trump did a deal with the Taliban back in 2020. If the Taliban weren't going to take over, then why do the deal with them? Why not just do it with the Afghan government? Because everyone knew that the Taliban were going to take over when the U.S. left. It was just a matter of how they were going to take over. Was it going to be a smooth transition? Not so smooth? What's going on? Right? So obviously he knew that it was going to be a problem. So when he tells the American people, oh, I didn't know, you're lying. And then also, isn't this impeachable? Because remember when Trump had the whole thing going on with the Ukrainian president, when he called him was like, hey, can you look into Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and Burisma Holdings and that whole thing? Can you take a look at that and see what's going on and let me know what's happening? That right there got the man impeached the first time. He beat both, by the way, so take that. But anyway, that was enough right there to get him impeached. So if that phone call was enough on Trump's side, the precedent has been set. Phone calls like this where you're trying to get people to do things they shouldn't be doing, other heads of state, trying to make yourself look better than your political opponents. 'Cause that's what it was. It wasn't for the safety of the military. It wasn't for the military's morale. It was to try and manipulate you and I, regular normies, to make it look like the Afghan government were winning over the Taliban. So when you do something like that, trying to make yourself look better, well, shouldn't that be impeachable? Actually, here's the quote right here. Let's see if I can put it on the screen. Okay, got these random. Let's put this right here. Okay, so here's a little excerpt. Much of the call was focused on what Biden referred to as the Afghan government's quote-unquote perception issue. Quote, I need not tell you the perception around the world and in parts of Afghanistan. I believe is that things are not going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban, Biden said. Quote, and there is a need, whether it is true or not, there is a need to project a different picture. That's what Biden said on the phone call. Now, this was, again, at the end of July, I think July 23rd. And he goes on to say, oh, he also tried to get a press conference, a joint press conference between Ashraf Ghani and Hamid Karzai, the former president. So he was trying to get them two on the same press conference to project strength and unity, all this and that, and the third. Talking about that'll help right there. That'll change perception. And then Biden goes on to say, quote, I'm not a military guy, so I'm not telling you what plan should precisely look like. You're going to get not only more help, but you're going to get a perception that it's going to change in terms of how, you know how he talks, our allies and folks here in the States and other places think you're doing. Again, trying to change your mind, my mind, every other normie in the world, trying to change our mind, not even about the military and stuff like that and actual on the ground productivity. It's about trying to make it look good for us. So basically, he wants to have this message get sent out there to the mainstream media, and he wants them to try and brainwash us to believe whatever he wants. So these numbers you're seeing right now, as a result of Afghanistan, maybe wouldn't be that way if he was able to do that successfully. You see how that works? So shouldn't that be impeachable? I think so. if the precedent is what Trump did, then the same thing should fall right in line. But again, we all know that the whole impeachment thing was weaponized to attack Trump. People wanted to say that some guys, like myself, are tinfoil hat wearers for saying that exact same thing back in 2016. And then again, what was that? I guess this year, 2021, 2020, whenever the next impeachment happened, they wanted to say, oh, well, you know, Trump deserved it and all this and that. All right, well, check it out. Keep that same energy when it comes to the next guy. Let's not have it just be a partisan thing. Obviously, it was a partisan thing. Okay, and what Biden is doing is worse, obviously, because what Trump was talking about was a real thing. Remember when Giuliani went on Fox and he was speaking to, what's her name, Kennedy, who was on MTV back in the day? And she was grilling them about the whole Hunter Biden laptop, talking about, oh, the laptop's not real. It's from Eastern Europe, all this, that, and the third. That was the attitude toward the Ukraine and Russia and China. But now we know that it's real. You got Hunter Biden in 4K HD smoking crack. Like, what are we doing? What if that was your man Trump Jr. beaming the Scotty? How would that be perceived by the public, by the general public? Anyway, we know what's going on. So what's going to happen? Is he going to get impeached? If he does, it's not really relevant. I think what'll happen is that they'll probably get him out on the medical situation, because obviously something's not right with the guy. He's pretty much got 2 feet in. He might as well go like this and just, you know what I mean, close the eyes. But anyway, they probably get him on the medical thing, 25th Amendment. They probably won't get him out due to some kind of impropriety or some kind of thing he did wrong, because that'll just stain him. They'll get him out on a medical technicality, but it won't make a difference because you're going to have Kamala Harris in there, who ain't nothing but a puppet herself. They're both puppets. The only issue is that Biden is a sleepier puppet than Kamala. Kamala's just a cackling puppet. You got cackling. They're like the Smurfs. You got Cackle Smurf and Sleepy Smurf. Whatever the Smurf's name was, always going to bed all the time. That's pretty much what you got right now in the White House. Cackle and Sleepy. So it doesn't really matter who's put in there. I think what really matters the most is we got to get these midterms on and cracking. And the midterms are going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. Get ready for it. They're going to be crazy. But that'll be the most important, is to get that whole thing going. And then to the 2024 is going to be crazy as well. They're already trying right now to get DeSantis, trying to smear him, trying to find any kind of morsel of dirt they can on him. They're not being very successful with it, but they're trying. They're trying to do whatever they can. They might have a few, surprises for us later, but who knows? We'll see. We will see. All right. And then what else we got going on? We got quite a few topics on deck. Oh, now I almost forgot about the dogs. They left the dogs in Afghanistan. Now, let's go to Facebook right quick, because Facebook I hate. I hate Facebook a lot. But the thing about Facebook is that, how can I say? It's where if you could unlock Facebook as far as any kind of a social media platform, if you can unlock Facebook, then you pretty much got it. They can't stop you at that point if you can unlock it. But you always, it's like trying to post and do things on Facebook. It's always a fight. It's always something. Always some kind of technicality, some kind of hoop you got to jump through. It's like being a circus actor at Barnum and Bailey. You jump through hoops of fire, run away from tigers. You might as well be Siegfried and Roy. R.I.P. Don't get bit by the tiger. Don't get stung by the bee, whatever. But anyway, so there were some contract dogs left by the U.S. military, or by the U.S. in general, in Afghanistan at the airport, at the Kabul airport, just left in the kennels, just like it's nothing. There are people left as well, obviously. I think it's like 500 Americans. You have students from America that are left in Afghanistan. Not really sure why they're there in the first place, but irrelevant. There's plenty Americans left. A lot of Afghan interpreters left. People that should be out of Afghanistan, that have the right to be out of Afghanistan, plenty of American citizens are left because the 31st was a hard cutoff date. That was a hard cutoff date. The Taliban said, hey, if you stay here past August 31, it's going to be consequences. And they obeyed. So there's plenty of Americans, everybody else, but they left these dogs. And I feel like, okay, it's not even that many dogs. Why would you, surely it can't be that hard to get these dogs out of there, right? You can, but anyway. So I posted a screenshot of a tweet, and the screenshot says, we left behind service dogs in Afghanistan at the Kabul airport. I'm visibly angry about this. But here it is on my Facebook. You see, it has a fact check screen over it. It says false information checked by independent fact checkers. Now, if I click on CY, it says Pentagon says it did not abandon military service dogs in Kabul, disputes viral photo. And then another story. The first one was from USA Today. Another one from Lead Story says, fact check, U.S. did not, and capital N, capital O, capital T, did not leave behind military working dogs in cages in Afghanistan. However, this fact check is misleading. They're talking about misleading information or false information. The fact check is misleading. These are contract dogs the military uses. They're not explicitly U.S. military service dogs. But what's the difference, really? It's the same thing. They do the same thing that military service dogs do. Service dogs, they have handlers and they stay with them all the time. But as far as these dogs, they're just contracted to do certain things, bomb sniffing or whatever. Okay? So they left the helicopters, left the dogs just right there at the airport. And to make matters worse, the Taliban did a press conference about this whole situation. They were asked, hey, how about them dogs? Because I saw the dogs walking around the airport. I could tell that these are military dogs or contract dogs. It was obvious that I've seen these dogs before. Matter of fact, I was on the airplane with one of these dogs one time. I was going to El Paso, and it was, it's a base right there. So I'm on the way to El Paso, and I sat next to a young lady that had one of these dogs. She was a handler. The dog was super hairy. I'm talking about when I got up, when she got up, she was covered. She was like a whole rug. When I got up, I got hair all over me. Beautiful dog, though. Shout out to the dog. Shout out to her. But that same dog I saw on the plane, the same dog that had the vest on and do not pet, all of that same dog I saw out there, the same breed of dog. I don't know what the breeds are. You guys know better than I do. But that exact same breed I saw at the airport. These are obviously working dogs. So when they say, oh, this is false information, let's stop playing games. You're playing games with words, trying to make Biden look better. But anyway, yes, dogs. A dog on a plane, yes. I mean, you can get a dog from point A to point B. You got these big C-17s. You got 800 human beings on there. You could put 20 dogs on that same plane. But I digress. Let's get to the Taliban's press conference. Yes, they did. Are they German Shepherds? Okay, that makes sense. Those same dogs were just roaming around the airport. Beautiful dogs. And they look well fed and taken care of, which they were. The Taliban said that they feed them and watering them. How embarrassing is that? You got the U.S. military, the best military in the world, abandons the dogs, telling us some of their stray dogs. These are not stray dogs. You're not going to have this obvious working dog as a stray in Kabul at the airport. Have you ever seen a stray dog at the airport just walk around the tarmac? Let's just stop playing games. These dogs were left by the U.S. military just to die, I suppose. But the Taliban is taking care of them. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Now, they could be lying, but I doubt it. And they got pictures too. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the video and then the pictures. So let's get some sound right quick and let's do it.
Also, there's a lot of noise in Western press about the dogs that were left behind by Americans. Is that true? And
I'm sorry for the low sound. It's not my fault. But basically, they're talking about the dogs, saying that they're feeding them and they're alive and everything's all good.
Press, English
and our officials called in charge of those dogs, and today they came to report, and they are trying to collect the dogs, and they are trying to facilitate for them and what they need to give them.
Is they alive, and how many are there?
Particularly, I cannot give you a specific number, but they are alive. And from the beginning, when we come to the front door of the airport, we were in touch with the in charge of the dog, and they are working and they are feeding the dogs, and I think there's no problem. But you know, situations were not too good, and maybe there are some problems. But at all, we can say that they are.
So yeah, the dogs did get left, and they're taking care of them, and they got food. So here's some evidence right here. They got pictures. They got the dog food right there, and then they have I guess some of the toys, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it looks like right here. Embarrassing. We can't even get dogs. The humans, I mean, the human beings bad enough. We can't get the humans, but the dog, 20 dogs, maybe 15, 20 dogs, we can't get them. Really? How hard is that? It can't be that hard to get them. This is crazy. What's RT doing there? I mean, RT is going to be there because Russia, you know, Afghanistan is, well, were they part of the Soviets at one point? I'm not really sure, but Russia's right there, so it's kind of a straight shot. There's also a Russian consulate in Kabul. That's where the news came about the president fleeing with all the money and the helicopters and all that came from the Russian consulate. So they probably got the consulate stationed there, and then they come down to the airport or whatever to do reporting. Yeah. So that whole thing is crazy. Coco says, I actually believe the Taliban tells more truth than our politicians. They probably do. And not even to defend the Taliban, obviously, because, I mean, I don't want to be up under the Taliban's rule, but it's a shame when you have these guys who I don't want to have any parts of that are more honest than our own politicians. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. That shouldn't be like that, should it? But here we are. Here we are. So yeah, that whole thing was crazy. And they're talking about, oh, that's a misleading information. No, it's not. These are military. Matter of fact, let me try to find the dogs. I'm gonna try to find them, and then you can kind of see what's going on, because there's video of the dogs roaming around. And there's other, you have pets that were trying to rescue pets, and then there were obviously dogs that were just like service or contract. Here we go. So this is right here at the airport. You have a lot of the barbed wire and stuff like that. I'm gonna turn the sound off because it's probably sound like music going on. This appears to be from the local news out there in Kabul, because you got Arabic on the screen. But what they're showing right now, this is the airport, barbed wire on the ground. And I guess at a certain point, you're going to see the dogs. Oh, there we go. Office chairs just randomly on the tarmac. And then you see these dogs right here. Now, are those all German Shepherds? Are these just stray dogs randomly at the airport on the tarmac? Stop. Clearly working dogs. Obviously, that same kind of dog right there, the darker one, that same kind of dog was on the airplane with me when I was going to El Paso. The handler had that exact same kind of dog. So yeah, the fact checkers, here's a word. Anytime you see something from a fact checker, look into it yourself, because they're probably lying. They probably don't want you to know that what you're seeing is true. So look into it further. That's a red flag right there, that they're trying to hide information from you. They're not trying to help you. They're trying to hide it from you. All right. Say they look very skinny. One's a Belgian Malinois. Yeah, they probably are pretty thin because they probably were not taken care of very well before the Taliban got there. You see what I'm saying? Because I think that one guy from the Taliban said it didn't look too good when they got there, but now they're trying to feed him and give him water and all that good stuff. And check it out. Here's something else about Afghanistan. We spent, you ready for it? You ready for this number? How much we spent in Afghanistan? We spent 5.8 trillion with the T. 5.8 trillion in Afghanistan. And we're not even done. We're going to give them more. They're talking about giving the Taliban aid. Can you believe it? So, one thing about leaving Afghanistan is like, okay, one thing about Afghanistan, all the money that we're spending, that's one thing. You gonna give him aid? That's crazy. But here we are. Here we are. And all that money, what was it even for? What did we really get from that? 5.8 just and we wondering why the debt is the way it is. People could say people could say whatever about the war and say we should have been there for longer. We didn't have to leave. But how much money are we going to spend? How much? How many more trillions? And I'm hearing that it could be more than 5.8. I'm hearing that it could be more than 5.8. I'm hearing that it could be up to 8. Not 5.8, but 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $8 trillion. You want to go to 10? And we're about how much in debt? We're about 30-something trillion dollars in debt. If it's 8 trillion, that'd take a lot off of the debt, wouldn't it? And how much more money do we spend in other places where we really shouldn't be? That's the bigger thing right there. I think, be a little bit more responsible fiscally. Don't just spend money for no reason. All right. But do I have anything else I want to talk about before we get to, I think I pretty much got everything. Oh, and just a quick note before we get to the calls. So if you guys watch sports, if you watch football, I'm not sure everybody does or whatever, but it's a really quick note. So Cam Newton, for the New England Patriots, he has been released by the team. Now, there's a few things going on here. First thing is that he's a big running quarterback. Big running quarterbacks don't last long in the league. The big guys, your Randy Cunningham, Michael Vick, they last a while because they're small and they have less wear and tear in their body. But these big guys, Dante Culpepper, guys like that, they don't last long because the body breaks down early. Cam's 32 years old, and he's pretty much done in the league. He was only on the 1-year contract with the Patriots, and then he got released. But here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. They're trying to say it's racism. I don't think so. That's not the problem. Michael Vick went to jail for dogfighting. Speak about dogs. He went to jail for 2 years for dogfighting, was universally hated, still came back and played 7 to 8 or 9 more seasons because he was good. He was a good player. So race irrelevant. The problem is that he has lost talent and he has 2 virus-related incidents. I guess he doesn't want to get the shot. You see what I'm saying? So now part of the reason why he's not going to be on the roster anytime soon and he's not on the Patriots roster is because of the shot. And I saw this whole thing coming. People being denied jobs or you losing your competitive edge because you don't want to get the shot. You're not really that good to just secure a spot automatically in the league, right? So what's going to be a factor that gets you out of the league quicker or you don't want to get the shot? And you're going to see that whole thing happen in a lot of places. And they're wondering why staffing is the issue. Well, part of the reason is because you got some of these requirements going on. The bigger thing, obviously, is, the welfare state expanding or the expansion of the welfare state that already happened. But another part is you got these requirements. Got to wear a mask, got to get the shot. People don't want to get it, so they're not being hired as a result of that. I'm not sure where this whole thing ends with the staffing issues, with all the welfare state expanded. I'm not sure where it ends, but it's got to end sometime. At a certain point, they're gonna have to rescind some of these rules they got on in effect, and they're gonna have to stop handing out so much of this this extra welfare benefit, because who's gonna work anymore? And at a certain point, you can't automate everything. You can't automate NFL quarterbacks, can you? You can't automate valet parking. So it's like, what are we gonna do here? Something's got to give, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. But thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I couldn't do it without you. We're going to get to the calls in a minute. The number to call is 434-658-1220. But right now, I'm going to get to the super chats. Let me see what's happening over there. Let me go to the little area where it's hiding, and we'll get straight on in it. And again, thank y'all for watching. I don't know what I'd do without y'all. I couldn't do it. All righty. And September the 1st. Man, August flew by, didn't it? I'm talking about, if it was a track star, it'd be in first place all the time. All the time. Oh, before I get super chats right quick, just one more. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. Speaking about the California governor, September the 14th, if you're living in California, please, please, please vote yes on the recall. Get Gavin Newsom recall from being the California governor, and vote for Larry Elder. Again, vote yes on the recall. Get Gavin Newsom out of the office, and vote for Larry Elder to be the governor of California if you live there. I'm not going to suggest any kind of, chicanery, skullduggery, no weird stuff, because I don't do that. I'm just saying, if you live out in California, please do that. Tuesday, September the 14th, 2021, just in 14 more days, because today is September the 1st. However, we have other guys running for office, and here's one person you may know. And I put him on the screen right there. Now, do you recognize this individual? I'd direct your eyes to the bottom of the picture. I'm not really sure where my man's shoes are, but sir, you're like in a public place or some towel, barefoot. Maybe them dogs are barking. I'm talking about like the dogs, and them dogs right there are barking. Them big heels. Hey, I wear a size 14 shoe. You would never in your life ever. I don't care if you pay me $1 million. I'd never wear anything with a heel on it. I don't care if it's a men's heel shoe, a men's. I don't care. Now, if this cat is wearing some high heel pumps, I know them big toes is scrunched up doing gang signs. So them dogs were probably barking their heads off. I'm talking about intruder barking. But I digress. That was on my mind. I wanted to get it off. Let's carry on with the show. All right. And super chat, so let's get to those right quick. Yes, it is Big Bruce. You already know who it is. That's your man, Big Bruce Gender, aka Caitlin. The first one here from Apu. I got it from Apu right quick. Apu says, God bless all U.S. military, Coast Guard, Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines. Also, no Biden official fired nor has resigned. Shame. Also, ABL powerful video on Biden's phone call. Impeached. There you go. Also, he says, Biden says he drone strike ISIS-K. Actually, it was an Afghan ally and his children and family. Such a disgrace. Impeach Biden on that alone. Yeah, I saw that. So there was a drone strike where they said they got some ISIS people, right? ISIS-K, the new variant. Oh, and side note, speaking about variants, have you heard about the new variant? There's a new virus variant that just dropped today. It's called the Mu variant. I'm not making it up, I promise. Hand to everything. I swear. Mu, M-U. So we didn't skip past. It was weird. I heard about Lambda first and then Delta. How are they naming these? Is it like hurricanes where they go in alphabetical order and then they go alpha, beta? How are they doing this? Anyway, first it was Lambda, then it was Delta, now it's Mu. So at one point where they say Mu is the new wave and we got to fight against that, I'll move on. But yeah, that whole thing with the drone strike was crazy. Talking about it's a new ISIS. It's like, man, y'all need to stop. Are you going to go back into Afghanistan and fight or what? What's really happening here? Will there be more troops than there were before Biden got in office or not? TB says, how's it going? With the emoji, thank you for that. Everything's going good with me, can't complain. Ian Kinney says, Milwaukee, Andres Martina accused of killing his 12-year-old grandson with a hammer. Guardians of the children, bikers following the case. Crazy. Also, from Ian Kinney, Project Veritas update, Antifa teacher on paid leave. School is looking to fire him. These comments need to be removed from teaching our children. Oh, I didn't talk about that, did I? Or I probably touched on it briefly. So there is an Antifa teacher out there in Sacramento, California, or at least there was. And this guy was out and open with it. He's a high school teacher. He teaches AP government. So imagine an Antifa guy with this skewed view of the world, with a Mao Zedong poster in the class, an Antifa flag in the class, teaching your children AP, advanced placement government, right? A higher up class. So this guy said on the undercover camera, and shout out to Project Veritas again, you guys are doing the Lord's work right now. But he said on the camera, undercover camera, that he has 180 days to brainwash your children, to indoctrinate your children. And what he does with his students is that he gives them like one of these political tests to see where you are on the spectrum. And a lot of the kids, they start off kind of center left. And as the class goes on, he tests them again. And by the time he's over, they go all the way. You see what I'm saying? So they're trying to brainwash the kids early. High school, middle school, elementary school. It used to be you go to college, that's where the brainwashing happened, right? That was a brainwashing center. But now they're trying to get your kids kindergarten, having a transgender reveal in kindergarten, high school, trying to talk about, going to Antifa events. They're recruiting high school kids to go to Antifa the same way the Nation of Islam will recruit penitentiary inmates to join their ranks. It's the same kind of thing going on. So this guy got caught doing that. The video is everywhere. And now their school district out there in Sacramento, they went ahead and fired him. They put him on paid leave, or I'm not sure what kind of leave it is. And then they said they're going to fire him. It was a statement they put out. We are going to fire him. So he's done. But that wouldn't have happened unless we made it happen. It wouldn't have happened because he was out there in the open, had the Antifa flag on the wall and everything. We made it happen. All right. And what else we got going on? Shout out to Apple, who says Obama been pretty quiet over the whole withdrawal. Oh, quiet as a church mouse. Ain't said a word. Leo Mazzina says a teacher claiming to be Antifa has a picture of a communist fascist. Can't make that up. Yeah, that's crazy. The scariest part is when the guy said that the China Revolution, Cultural Revolution, it was not a success, and people were killed in the street that probably shouldn't have been killed. Which mean probably shouldn't have been killed. I mean, is there somebody that should have got killed during the whole thing? Like who should have been killed? Who shouldn't have? You see what I'm saying? I pay attention to language. I see what you. I listen to how people say things. They say certain. I pay attention. I'm like, okay, why would you say it like that? Is there a reason why you said probably shouldn't have been? You see, and he had a picture of him on the wall. So you like something that he did. It's the same thing with Patrice Cullors from Black Lives Matter. She has a book or some kind of literary work, and she compared it to Mao's Little Red Book. And she was beaming with excitement over that comparison being made. I don't understand why they think that Mao is a good person to look after, or China is a good model about how to go forward. I don't really get it. I don't understand. Let me see. Labrador says, ABL, I know this is off topic. Where would you say is a nice area to move in Tennessee? Bear in mind, I'm from New York City, so my expectations are probably pretty low. Well, it all depends on what kind of life you want to live and how much money you got to spend, really, quite frankly, because you can go to Nashville. Like, that seems to be the hot spot everybody wants to go to. But understand this. Everybody has the same idea to go to Nashville. Everybody wants to go there. So the traffic's going to be crazy. The prices are going to be sky high. If you live in Williamson County, like right outside of Nashville, like Franklin and stuff like that, you got all the country stars, Billy Ray Cyrus and Reba McEntire. They living out there. That's the most expensive county in the country for real estate. Williamson County. Look it up. So if you got a lot of money, if you got money, if you got a few M's in the bank, Williamson County is great for you. If not, I say go to like Murfreesboro, somewhere like that. But again, that's getting packed up as well. Chattanooga is great. I'm out here. It's a great place. Knoxville is cool too. I like Knoxville a lot. Low key, not very expensive. East Tennessee, I'll put it to you like this. Here's a good breakdown. East Tennessee, that's going to give you more bang for your buck, in my opinion. It's going to be less expensive. Mountainous area, beautiful. If you go to Middle Tennessee, Nashville is going to be expensive and crowded. Once you go further out, like Clarksville, places like that, further up north or further down south in Middle Tennessee, is a little bit better price-wise. West Tennessee, don't go to Memphis. Not Shelby County. You can go on the if you go on the outside areas, you'd be fine in Memphis. Just don't go to the interior. Go to like Jackson, somewhere like that. You'll be all right. But if you want the city vibes, I say Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville, you'll be cool. If you got a pistol and you don't mind using it, you got some Call of Duty armor, go to Memphis. For real. Yeah, shout out to Kingsport. Yeah, I know about Kingsport. Yes, indeed. Yeah, when I drove here, when I came here, I drove from Virginia. So I went all the way up and down, what's that, 81 to 75. So I went through Bristol, all that good stuff. I saw Kingsport, all of that. Knoxville, of course. Saw everything. Yeah, but East Tennessee, I'm out here. I love it. And the location is great. Where I live, 2 hours in Nashville, an hour and a half to Atlanta. I could be in ATL 90 minutes. I could be in Hartsfield Jackson. In the terminal in 2 hours. From the time I leave my house, park, get on the shuttle, and get in the airport, 2 hours. Lived in Brentwood, Cool Springs. Yeah. Hey, it's beautiful out there, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay. And everyone has that same idea. Yeah, it's cool out there as well, Darlene. Johnson City. That's East Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of a little further out. I would just say do your research. Do you want to live in the more city type area with certain amenities, or do you want to live kind of far out? That's all you really got to know. And the thing about, also about Nashville, you're going to be in Central Time. Just a little nugget information. Once you pass like Mont Eagle and stuff like that, you're going to be in Central Time. But East Tennessee is all Eastern Time. Let's get some more super chats here. Apple says, ABL fans in California, please vote yes on recall and elder. There you go. The anti-view says, 65,000 kids die annually from secondhand smoke. 475 kids have died from the vid. Any judge taking kids from smokers? Talk about that part, because for a while when I was a kid, I got secondhand smoke in my house. You know, when I was young. Oh, yeah. Like, you go to certain people's houses, they be in there smoking. I done had crack smoke in my face before, but here I am. I didn't get taken away. My parents didn't do that. Obviously, no crack smoke in my parents' house, but I have been around that. So there's more important things to worry about than this whole thing with the bug, right? Let me see. Apple says ABL awesome video on Cedric Richmond. Democrats are the real racists. There you go. He also says ABL, you on Tatum tomorrow. Jericho Green too. I will be there if he does it. I'm not sure who the guests are. We'll see tomorrow. I ain't gonna spoil it right now. I'll let you know when they let everybody know. John D says, if I trusted Dr. Fauci to treat my hemorrhoids, I'd be the spaghetti monster less than a week. Hilarious. John D says, only 2 shots I'll take this year. Jägermeister. C. Denise says, school district in my state requiring face cover for all except medical exceptions. Those students must wear yellow armband. Are you serious? So if there's a medical exception, you got to put on the armband. Did they really do that? I mean, have we not learned from history? It might as well be a yellow star on their chest. Just rather than right there, just put it right there. And voila, Germany, 1943. Apple says, prayer, safe return, California kids and contract dogs in Afghanistan. John D says, F Biden, hashtag not my vegetable. The Anti-View says, if you don't realize 13 Marines fighting for your freedom got less recognition than George Floyd, you are the problem. Well, there you go. I'll take you up on that one for sure. Laura Catherine says, I currently think of what sorry state our country will be in after a year of this joker being in the White House. He's a disgrace and a fool. Colt Haterate says, if you know somebody who died in Afghanistan and you had the same opportunity to confront Biden as a Gold Star families, what would you do? I don't even know. That right there, it'd be so much emotion going on. I'm not really sure I would want to confront him because I don't want to, get thrown in the gulag. Put it to you like that. Bo versus Windshield says, if Biden is not in control and is a puppet, then that means Democrats have backstabbed America. Now that is an insurrection that worked. There you go. Shout out to Datslav Act Man Carey, who says, keep fighting and stay wise. John D says, I can't read what you call Joe Biden. I'm going to just say Joe Biden. Didn't realize I can't read that. It's too much. But thank you for the donation. Jennifer Casey says, chameleon on the wall. Speaking about Kamala Harris. Stavros says, we're in trouble when the Taliban seem like better human beings than Biden and his BS administration. Exactly. Byron 8899 says, to combat gun violence, San Francisco will pay $300 a month to make violent people stop shooting others. What are your thoughts on this? That's the dumbest thing in the world. All they're going to do is just use that money to, invest in some drugs to sell so they can make more money on the street. That's the silliest thing. It's not going to work. You may even have fewer shootings, but you can have more drug overdoses. So if the purpose is to prevent deaths, then you're not going to be able to accomplish that goal at all. Ian Kinney says, did you see the photo of the Taliban hanging the man from one of our choppers we left? Facebook fact checkers claim that unnamed sources in Afghanistan say he was hanging from a harness. Yeah, okay. Exactly. Why fact check that? What's the purpose? Why even step out on the ledge and do that? Why? Suprov says, Dr. John Campbell, YouTuber, said England and Germany switched from a pandemic to endemic, so it's going to be like the flu. Very little testing. We're all going to be exposed, so they're moving on. Exactly. I mean, it's a virus. They're talking about, we're going to defeat it. Defeat it how? The common cold being here for my whole life, and beyond that, obviously. Same thing with the flu. Ain't no cure. So what's the point in really what are we even doing? Are we going to stay locked down forever? Stay getting these shots forever? I feel like the hysteria behind this is, it reminds me of the flu shot. How they were really pressing you to get the flu shot every year. And I never got it. So it's like, why would I get it now? I never got the flu shot, so why get this? Thank you to Sad Bro, who says, we really need that air base, though. Yeah, we did need the air base. We did. Shout out to Ian Kinney, who says, Facebook's fact check lead stories is funded by Facebook. Sounds trustworthy to me. Facebook overlords will never lie. Exactly. What's the point in even saying that it's called lead stories? Just say it's Facebook. themselves. Facebook.com fact check this. It's the same thing. Jennifer Casey says the demo criminals are going to go after the lithium. All right. And I got a few more here I'm going to get to. Y'all just hang tight. And hold on. Let me get back to where I was. And where are we at? Oh, thank you to Jennifer, who also says, hey, did you hear about the California paying drug addicts to quit drugs? They're paying drug addicts to quit drugs? Really? Is that what they did? So they're trying to pay criminals to stop shooting, and they're trying to pay dope fiends to not use dope. That's dumb. The worst thing, the absolute worst thing to do is to give a drug addict money. That's the number one way that they're going to go out there. Anytime I see anybody on the street talking about, oh, can I get $1? I need a ride. I know what it is. You're trying to get drug money, period. I don't give anyone on the street any money. I give to charity. I give to certain people, like as far as political, I do my thing. I give clothes, I give furniture. I give stuff like that to charities, to Habitat for Humanity, Goodwill. I do that. But a guy on the street giving them $20, nope. That ain't nothing but fentanyl money. No, thank you. I'm not going to contribute to your demise. I'm not going to, enable you that way. Also, Jennifer says, ISIS-K, really? Same as Taliban equals ISIS-K. Same war with the new name. It was first Gulf War, and they are the same gang with new names. Were you in the first Gulf War? Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot. People saying that it's the same people, just different names. It's, really no difference. Matthew said, love you, man. Hey, thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. Seth says, if they keep scaring people, changing variant names, then they will keep the populace controlled. The guy that fixes it with their name change wins. That could say Ricardo, who says, how come they say we can't use ivermectin because it's not FDA approved, but they let us use the actual vaccine that they have us using before it wasn't approved by the FDA. Exactly. Right. Sumas Liberty says, let's ban fascism and communism. Right on. The Anti-View says, thoughts on CDC coming on with correct language. Just more of that woke stuff, more of that critical race theory stuff. I may do a video about that because I think you guys asked me about that last time. I'm going to do a video on that specifically to break down some of the language. I enjoy reading some of these things just to kind of see where their mind is. So I may do a video on that. Stavros says the reason Beijing Biden left military weapons to the Taliban is to give them mass weaponry to protect the poppy fields, opium. Well, maybe so. But, the Taliban are funny with that. The Taliban say they're going to destroy the opium. But when they destroyed it before, they still had a big reserve of it. So they were able to still sell it. Like the Taliban, I don't trust them at all to do anything. Butt versus Windshield says free housing, food, and needles. Now it's free money. Why not just hand out heroin to kids in school? Exactly. That's the next step, ain't it? Just give them the drugs and say, hey, go get high. All right. Thank you all for being here. Definitely appreciate y'all. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you've not done so, also like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Time for the calls. You guys know what it is. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If you're having a hard time getting on, just keep on trying. I'm going to try to get to you as soon as I can. If I can't get you on, it's not my fault. Blame the white man. Let's see if Skype wants to act right. If it doesn't, again, not my fault. I don't take responsibility. All right. And let's get to it here. Let's go 775 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL.
What's happening?
This is my first time calling, but I just want to tell you that I really enjoy the show. I started watching in 2020, and I haven't stopped since. You make my work days go great. I just have a couple questions. What's a book that you recommend that's a political book?
I think an easy one is, especially for like young people, Animal Farm. That's a good one because it just, I think what's happening right now is we're seeing the class differences starting to really show themselves. Like your Nancy,
okay.
your Nancy Pelosi, all these people, we're starting to see that really display itself. So that's probably a good one I recommend.
Okay. And last question. What do you think is going to happen on 9/11, 2021? Do you think another war is going to pop off or a terrorist attack?
I don't think so. I think that it won't be anything. If it's not been anything yet, it probably won't be anything now. Nah, I don't see anything happening.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks again. I really enjoyed the show, man, and it's great to speak to you finally. Thank you for everything.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah, shout out to the caller. 1984 as well is a good one. Absolutely. Yeah, any Orwell. Get some Orwell. Yeah, because he was ahead of his time. All right, caller. Who am I speaking to on Skype?
Hey, ABL.
What's happening?
Hey, just wanted to call you and ask you about. Can you hear me, ABL?
Are you well?
Okay, sorry about that. Do you think it's possible that COVID can be maybe a way for population control? Whether it's our government or other governments, has that ran through your head?
I don't think so. I think it's more about just, well, I'll put it to you like this. Not as far as population in numbers, but as far as controlling people, but not as far as controlling the number of people. I think you achieve that by doing stuff like abortion.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, there was like 3 billion people on Earth. Now they're saying it's or trillion. Like the numbers have skyrocketed, and I was just wondering if maybe COVID is something they put out there to kind of bring things down and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, maybe that's a possibility, but I think that they're trying to do other things. You know, if they know how to do that, like as far as cutting off aid and stuff like that. But this whole thing could be a way. You never know.
Okay. Yeah, and then in July, me and my wife, we came down with COVID at the same time, and it took us about 2 weeks to get better. And our kids actually got COVID at the same time, and for them, it took them like 2 days, and they're better. Like 10 minutes, they're like feeling better. But for the grown-ups, it's hitting them hard. And I tell you what, COVID was one of the hardest things I ever went through, ABL. It was rough, man. Day 10, you start feeling better, but day 6, 7, 8, I honestly felt like dying. It's the worst, ABL.
Yeah, man, it's pretty rough, man. Hopefully, we can not have this be such a thing. Hopefully, we can get to some real, real treatments that work rather than it being so political.
Right. Yeah, and then that's another thing with the 20-year anniversary coming up for September 11th. I'm just kind of curious to see the Taliban released all those terrorists out of those jails.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so long since September 11th. And I was 18. I was a senior in high school. I'm 38 now. And I just don't know if this generation knows the fear and the heartache when a terrorist can hit. Because every good-hearted American knows exactly where they were on September 11th. And 20 years from now, I just don't want people to forget that feeling. And I'm kind of, wondering, all those terrorists being released, you think they're just like, they're happy with us? You think they were just playing Connect 4 in those jails? Like, I'm wondering, I just hope and pray that for the safety. It just makes me a little fearful. And we're not even 4 years in this administration. And look at what happened. We're only, 9 months? And 13 Marines have died? He already has blood on his hand? I'm just worried about the next 3 years. Like, what's going to happen, ABL? It's scary, man. It really does. Like, I'm just hoping that we can, get through, for everyone, left, right, center. And what color you, blue, purple? I don't care what color you are. Like, we got another 3 years with this administration, and it freaks me out, ABL.
Well, I think what's happening is that, now I kind of saw this coming a little bit before the election. If he was to win, I'm thinking, okay, they would get a taste of what life is like under these kind of people. because
Right.
maybe they kind of got spoiled with Trump. You know, the media is talking about he's a terrible person, but those of us that know better, we know that he was a good president. But if you have Biden in there, you're going to see how things are. You're not going to like it, and you're going to go the other way. So I think that we'll be able to get past all this and have a better outcome than what we have right now.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, ABL. You're one of my favorite YouTubers. You actually take calls from real people, and it's pretty amazing that you do that. Everyone else, it doesn't seem like, the ones that I follow do it. But I'm glad that you have the balls to actually take calls from people, and God bless you, and keep up the fight.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, ABL. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, everybody has different experience with this virus. Some people say it's the worst. Some people said it was not really a big deal. Everybody's different. 865 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Laurie.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, this is Anthony, right? Did I finally get through to you?
You sure did.
Hey, man, this is fantastic. I live here in East Tennessee. Why are you sending all these people to us?
Only the good
leave
ones.
Leave us alone. Go away. Anyway, I just I'm going to step back a couple months back to the insurrection. I was in Pigeon Forge a couple months ago, and with the family, and we were going to Dollywood, and I see this Donald Trump store, and I thought, I think I want to go in there after we get done with Dollywood. So to make a long story short, I was almost fixing to go into the store, and I said, I wonder what would happen if I was to use my credit card in that store. Wonder what would happen if they was to take a picture of my face in that store. So I went into a major conspiracy theory. So anyway, I've just sort of been, thinking about that and toying with the idea a little bit. But I had another question. I was wondering why you never blamed the white woman and you only blame the white man.
Because
All right, thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. And we got quite a few calls on the line. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as possible, so y'all just hang tight. 309 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Johnny.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I had a question for you. Do you think the Democratic Party is getting anything right?
I don't see anything that they're doing right. I mean, maybe they are. I'm not going to say that they aren't, but if they are, I don't see it.
Okay. Who do you think Trump is picking for his VP running for 2024?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. I don't know.
Okay. How many different places in the U.S. have you been to? You were talking about, I think, Nashville, Tennessee, a little bit ago.
I've been to a lot of different states. I've been pretty much everywhere, I would say. I've not been to Alaska or Hawaii, but I've been to probably about 35 states, something like that, maybe.
Okay. You been in the military?
No, I wasn't. My dad was in the military, but he was in the reserves. But I just travel.
Okay.
I just travel. That's all. So going to places for speaking engagement, going for an event, going just because, moving around. I just did that, but I wasn't like an army brat or anything.
Okay. You ever think of running for office?
I get that question a lot, like all the time. I think that if people want me to do it, and there's enough genuine support to where it would make sense for me to do it, I would do it, but not anytime soon. That's not really a thing I aspire to do. I would do it if I was called to service and it was a serious way I could actually win.
Okay. All right. I feel you. All right. Well, I just love watching your show. You give a fresh perspective on it, and you make a lot of good points. So thanks, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And I can say out of everywhere I've been, I did not like New York or LA. No. I love Nashville. Nashville's great. Love Tennessee in general. Tennessee's fantastic. Florida was great. Phoenix, Arizona was great. Where else? South Carolina, North Carolina, of course. Virginia was great when I was a kid, but it's changing. Yeah, I mean, it's a few. I wanted to go to like Minnesota, not Minnesota. Well, Minnesota, but not Minneapolis. Put it to you like that. I don't want to go to the woke parts of some of these states. Been in Niagara Falls before, like Buffalo, all of that. It was cool up there. Let's go to some more here. 929, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello,
Yes, who am I speaking to?
this is Tom from Brooklyn.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Hey,
great.
this is Anthony.
Yes, it is.
Wow, that was fast. I just called just now. Okay. Anyway, no, I just wanted to. I'm the one who actually donated saying that we should ban communism and fascism. Anyway, what I wanted to say is that all these problems about all these democratic socialists is, I mean, you know, they say that they always, you know, when us conservatives they don't like what we're saying, they right away they call us fascist. But don't they realize that we are like so far from being fascist? I mean, they're like conservatives and fascists are like night and day. And there's some political experts that actually say that there isn't much of a difference between communism and fascism when you really delve into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just different words.
Yeah. But one thing I don't understand is that, I mean, we all know that there are extremes on both parties, but I think that the majority of us conservatives is that we're not that extreme. We're not as extreme as the commies are. You know what I'm saying? The leftists.
Right.
I mean, the proof is, you know, as you can see what's going on right now. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. And keep up the good work. It was really nice talking to you. This is not my first, actually my second time calling. So anyway, that's all I needed to say.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right, have a good night. Take care.
All right, shout out to the caller. And oh yeah, I've been in Texas a few times. I've been in Texas a lot. I've been in El Paso, Dallas, Houston. Loved it. I love each place for a different reason. You know, but definitely I think my favorite was El Paso. As far as the places I think it depends on when I go, because a lot of times when I travel, it's raining, it's weird. But El Paso, I loved it. I loved El Paso the same as I loved Phoenix. It's like the same kind of vibe going on, in my humble opinion. But yeah, Dallas is cool too. I enjoyed Dallas, Houston. Let me get some more here. Let's go. Wow, the phones are blowing up. All righty, 316 you're on the line. I'm speaker to 316. 316, hello.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right. Okay, just so anybody, if you're a new caller, please be ready to have your ear by the phone, because if you're trying to time with the stream, it's not going to work. There's a delay. You're going to be ahead. Well, you'll be behind. I'll be ahead. So just keep your ear to the phone, please. And we'll do it like that. 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 586.
ABL.
Yes. What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm supposed to get through to you. Hey, this communist stuff, man. You gotta understand. I'm coming from a vet myself.
All right, hold on, caller. Hold on. Turn speakers off in the background for me, please.
Yeah. I'm back on the feed. But hey, man, I don't understand what Biden's doing. And where's Harris at?
I have no idea.
So he's supposed to take the civilians and everybody else out first, right?
You said what now?
He's supposed to take the civilians and everybody else out, right?
I mean, I guess that was the
Then
plan
get your,
for the civilians to be taken out of Afghanistan, like the American citizens and whatnot. But I guess it didn't happen.
Yeah, no. Then you go and get all your stuff, retrograde, do what you do, right? Then you get your soldier out, then you bomb the hell out of it so they can't use it, right? Oh, sorry, cussed.
Well, yeah, I guess that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Right. And now this is a joyful event. So he can take pictures with on 9/11. They're gone.
Well, hey,
People
that's
don't
what.
pay attention enough. Besides CNN, CNN ain't gonna tell nobody no negative stuff like this, really.
Right.
So all the ignorant people are gonna watch him on the news and say, "Oh, he did good."
Exactly. Right on, man. But I got a few on the line I'm gonna get to. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. I should call over my sober. Appreciate it.
Come on, if you drunk, don't call. Just don't. Like, don't. Just, you know what? If you're drunk, just enjoy your drunkenness. Just, you know what I mean? Get some popcorn, watch the show. Don't call into the show. Because if I sense some drunkenness, I'm gonna just bang up. I'm gonna just bang the phone. So don't do it to yourself. Don't embarrass yourself on the show. Just don't. Because I don't want to do it to you. I want to be a nice guy. I don't want to bang the phone in your ear. I'd rather just have a nice conversation. All right. So are we cool? We on the same page with that? Okay, great.
See yourself.
All righty, Matt. What's going on?
ABL, what's going on?
Ain't too much, man. What's happening?
I'm just cutting some rails, and I thought I'd give you a phone call, man. Jeez, man.
Exactly.
So, dude, I cried last week for like the first time, and it was like in public. I felt like a damn baby, man. The images of those guys falling from the planes and stuff like that kind of reminded me of like the people jumping from the buildings when the towers got hit.
Yeah.
Oh, it got me right in the feels. And then I kind of welled up a little bit about that guy getting hung from the helicopter too. But then I don't know if it was a hanging. I think it was literally a guy in a harness because his arms were up. I know that. Yeah, man, that's a serious situation over there. I think we are officially a failed state. Like there was 50 congressmen that were calling for Biden to be impeached over this, and McConnell kind of put a squash on it, saying we got midterms coming up and an impeachment is not going to happen. Dude, I'm not a Republican anymore. I was chairman of the Republican Party here. I unregistered to vote. Screw this, man. Like, the ballot box is not how this gets fixed. There's no way. What do you feel the same or no?
I don't feel the same way. I just think that these things happen when you have bad leaders in office and you got to be able to get them out. But I don't think that it's like hopeless. Like voting is not even, I don't think that. I think that you can get beyond it, but you got to go through a tough time with this guy here. I think what happened with this election was that we got caught flat-footed. Everybody was right on the Trump high. Everybody was like, yo, we got it in the bag. It's no problem. But the whole time they were plotting and scheming and take advantage of the situation to do some, things behind the scenes with the election, with some of the mail-in stuff. And they had a strategy. And we were not able to defeat the strategy. That had nothing to do with actually campaigning or anything like that. It was more about just trying to, finagle the votes a certain way due to the universal mail-in ballots. You weren't prepared for that. And then here we are.
Yeah, they used COVID. And
yeah.
I tell people, I was like, you can't vote for president today. And that confuses people. Like I said, why can't you vote for president today? Because the election, it's over. And that would affect the election if you could vote today. but you can't. So why can you vote for on the 4th and the 5th and stuff like that? Just, I mean, Trump had it in the bag if just the postmark dates on the ballots were honored. You know, you could put all the other cheating aside. If that one thing was honored, you know, I mean, they shredded ballots and they defied judges' orders in Pennsylvania to segregate the ballots that came in after the 4th and to look for the postmark. You know, but I wanted to say something about the vaccine. The most vaccinated country on the planet is now the least vaccinated country on the planet. Did you hear about this one?
I was speaking about Israel.
Yeah, because you're not vaccinated with 2 vaccines there. You have to get a third, and they have a timetable for 5 vaccines, like by the end of this year. They're preparing for that.
Oh yeah, because now they're saying you got to get a shot every 5 months over here. So
yeah,
it's going to be a continuous thing forever.
It's going to be a license to live, and I've been telling people about that. And ironically, a lot of people, I'm in Seattle, I mean, but people that I tell, like, hey, you're going to have to get a booster every 3 months, they're cool with it. And I'm just like, weren't you just telling me that you wouldn't eat a genetically modified potato like last year because of Monsanto?
Right.
And you're going to get a damn vaccine every 3 months that genetically modifies you? Are you a moron?
Right.
But I got thinking about I think the one thing that they could do to get most people vaccinated, not to digress, but Israel's got twice the case and death counts in the United States right now. So their 7-week rolling average is twice as ours. So, but I could be convinced maybe to take the vaccine if they caught the people that made the virus. If I saw an actual trial going on and I didn't feel as though I was being lied to at every damn corner, and there was some information that was vetted by a jury or at least some open process where it was like, oh, we lied to you not to wear masks so that you wouldn't buy masks, so that the healthcare workers were not. They're admitting that they're lying to us for our own good. Like we're babies sucking at a teat or something like that. It's just like, no, give us the real information if you have it, but they don't. And love you, man. That's probably all I got for you.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, you be good.
All right. Shout out to the caller. My man, Matt. Great call. And let's get to a few more here. All righty. Caller on Skype. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Leslie.
Hey, how's it going?
From Illinois. Again.
All righty. So what's going on? How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I can't complain too much.
I don't know if you're showing me right now. I can't see because we're a little bit we're behind. So
yeah, I can. Yep. You're on the screen right now. Yep.
Oh, okay. My little one wanted to say hi. She's a big ABL fan too.
Well, hello. How are you? Can she hear me?
No, I'm heavy on my headphones. He's saying hi, baby. Hi. So I just wanted to get something really quick. I know everything's still going on. We're talking about COVID. So I actually came across something. My mom, shout out to my mom, Esmeralda, in regards to religious exemptions. So if you actually go to www.fathertad, so T as in Tom, A as in Anthony, and D as in David.com, he's actually going to have something there as soon as you log on his home screen. It's going to be right there. How do I get a conscious exemption? You click that, and right away he actually has the vaccine exemption template. So, I mean, for a lot of, the religious people, because I know a lot of conservatives do have some type of form of belief of a God. I already had sent this out to like everybody I know, and I actually got a great comment back. So I know that this is working. I have one of my close friends, her cousin works for a hospital in Chicago, and Chicago actually mandated these vaccines. So it takes in effect October 15th of this year. And she just submitted that to her HR, and she's good to go. So I already heard something good. I'm actually going to do this for my college, because I know previously I was speaking with you. I did say my college is now requiring this for January of 2022. So it's just a little, like I guess it's kind of like a right step towards the good way for at least for us conservatives. I know that I had sent it out to a couple of Christians because I've been in contact with some ministers as well. They tweaked the letter a little bit just in regards to talk more like of the Christian, either Baptist or other Christian, how would you call them, sectors of it. So far so good. I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. I hope it helps. And as well as on that page, he Father Tad also speaks about if for some reason employers or schools do not accept just this document, he does have listed legal assistance as well. So hey, it's a good step towards the right way, and I'm happy. So hopefully this starts making an impact. Not saying that this is the only thing we have to do, but hopefully it makes the right impact. And I just wanted to share that with you and with your viewers because I love you all.
Well, I thank you for that. That's a great resource. We need it because people are having some hard times out there. This is a great way to, get some steps forward to get beyond all this mandate nonsense. So thank you for that.
You're welcome, ABL. I love you guys. God bless you and take care, ABL. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for the call. Appreciate y'all.
Bye.
All right, great call. And shout out to all the parents with the kids watching the show. Hey, you gotta start them young. Get their minds right before the outside world try to get their minds and get them on some nonsense. So yeah, shout out to all the moms and the dads and grandmas, grandpas, everybody out there doing the right thing by the youngins. All righty, let's get to a few more here. The number to call 434-658-1220. Let's go 262. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is CJ.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Not much, dude. I missed the part of the show where you were talking about Antifa.
Okay, yeah. I was talking about the Antifa teacher.
Yeah. So I look up fascism, and it says far right away in the sentence. But we supposedly have a democracy, right?
Well, not really.
The democracy part of our government is supposed to allow people to get on their soapbox so that we're not a dictatorship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then what bothers me is, like, to me, if you were anti-fascist, when you have a president sign like 15 executive orders with no democracy, they should be more upset with the left.
Well, yeah, they should be because that's where it's coming from. But people, they don't seem to understand what freedom is, what freedom really is. They look at things that they agree with as okay. It doesn't matter if it infringes on someone else's freedom or their rights.
That's insane to me. That they are like exactly the opposite of what they're supposed to be standing for. You know what I mean? Like the thought police is so absurd to me that they really need to look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Like, we have the melting pot we have because we allow people their thoughts and their freedoms, and we got a pretty good, well, for one of the first startup shoestring countries to, start off, when people were, not the most, I don't know how to say advanced, we're kind of primitive in our origins. However, we did allow, and then they get so upset when somebody thinks differently than them. And the Antifa is far more fascist than anything I see.
Of course. Absolutely.
What I get confused is how they orchestrate this, though. They obviously have the mainstream media in their pocket. Like, this is bigger than people are aware of, in my opinion. There's too many prongs of attack in this, in their tactics. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for letting people get their voices heard, and keep doing what you're doing. I tune in all the time.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, take care of yourself.
All right, shout out to the caller. And now speaking about lack of freedom, all that kind of good stuff. Here's an article from Gizmodo speaking about the first 8 states that are going to get ID support in Apple Wallet. And hold on, this could be part of the whole the vaccine passport thing. And you could use it at certain TSA checkpoints. Kind of weird. But it's going to be on the it might be on your phone how they do it. Just integrated into the whole situation. We'll see how that works, but hopefully not. All right, let's get to a few more here. Let's go to 857. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, right here. I'm calling in regarding the Zoomer generation. I think, and I'm going to ask this question for the chat as well. What do you think that we as a country can do for the Zoomer generation? Like what kind of future, how can we be able to substantiate in 10 to 20 years, a Zoomer generation that can be conservative?
You said for what generation? For boomers? For Zoomers? For who?
No, Zoomer. Like, because I see, like, what do you think that we can do more for the Zoomer generation to try to, implement those ideals?
Well, I mean, the best way to go about it, the best way to go about it is if you have kids that are that age that are not out the house yet, just raise them properly. That's the first thing. But beyond that, just put out real information. I'm not necessarily the kind of guy that tries to convince people to believe what I believe. I put information out there and let people find it. And as more information is out there, as we're able to bombard information everywhere, online, offline, everywhere, people will gravitate toward it. If it's true, if it's legitimate, if it's factual, people will gravitate toward it. Now, not everyone will be, but if we're able to get a lot of people on our side, that'll probably be good for us. Social media, that's really important right now. These kids are on their phone a lot. You get a lot of these MS-13 DNC anchors on TikTok actively making little videos, trying to intentionally indoctrinate children. That's very important. If you have any teachers that are in school, I'm not going to say do like the Antifa guy did and try to brainwash kids, but just be conservative in your everyday actions, lead by example. That's probably the best way as far as I'm able to be concerned. But I think that some of the young people in the chat might be able to answer better because they may know what they are attracted to better than I do.
All right. Thank you very much. That was good news to hear. I'm always looking out for our new generation so we could be able to move forward as a country in the right direction, of course. So yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. All righty. Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Christina from Georgia.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, I'm calling in for the second time. I called in the first time. I said one of my favorite quotes was the pandemic and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Well, I got my pandemic shirt on right now.
All right, perfect. Love it.
I survived the pandemic.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Hey, is it okay to talk about vaccines for a minute?
Go for it.
Okay, you might have already covered this, but I just feel like I need some facts. I mean, some real clear facts to counter this narrative that is the unvaccinated that's causing everybody misery, death, problems. Like, they're just like the absolute enemy. Any ideas?
I mean, that's just not true because even the CDC came out and said it. Rochelle Walensky, the CDC director, she came out and said, and I quote, the vaccine cannot stop the spread of the virus. They can't do it. All they say it can do is help protect the person that has it. So if somebody vaccinated catches the virus, allegedly it helps them deal with the virus better. That's all that it can do. It can't help the unvaccinated. That's all. That's it. Now, what they're trying to say is that people who are unvaccinated are going to the hospital, taking up ICU spots, all this and that. But they're not talking about people that want to go out here and gang bang, shoot guns all the time, get shot, go to the ICU. People that want to eat 800 meals a day, be 1,000 pounds, size of baby grand piano, and they go to they don't talk about that. They just talk about one thing. So it's like, let's keep the same energy for everything, not just one thing.
I'll be so glad when they stop saying that. Oh,
same here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Is it everything?
I think so. Just one more thing. Did you hear about the two top FDA vaccine people or regulation people that resign? They resigned today or real recently.
Yeah, I'm hearing about that. I heard it was, I'm not exactly sure how many. I think it might have been who you talking about. It might have been more than that because the problem is it's a lot of miscommunication. The White House is trying to say you got to get the booster. Now, some of these FDA guys say, hey, wait a minute, you're doing too much too fast. We didn't want the booster right now. We want to wait a little bit before that happens. So they don't like the aggressive way to try to come out there with the booster shot. They don't like what's going on with all the mandates. So they're quitting. And bravo to them for standing up for themselves.
Yeah, I was so glad when I seen it. All right. Thank you, ABL.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Good night.
Yeah, I did see that. So some FDA officials, they had quit. Let me see. 2 senior FDA officials resigned over Biden administration booster shot plan. Here it is, New York Post. This was published today, 2:01 p.m. Let's put it on the screen right quick just so you know that I'm telling the truth. And it's no cap, as a cool kid say. There it is right there. Matter of fact, we got audio and everything.
Planned for late October and early November. Those are Dr. Is that 2 of these senior officials who really led the vaccines unit within FDA have announced their retirements planned for late October and early November. Those are Dr. Marion Gruber and Dr. Phil Krause from the Office of Vaccines Research and Review. Now, this was first reported by the industry publication BioCentury. We've confirmed this with the FDA. Lou Borio, the former FDA acting chief scientist, putting this into perspective on Twitter today, calling them 2 giants who helped bring us safe and effective vaccines over decades of public service. Now, some questions in the reporting here today and things that I've been hearing myself around whether they stepped down in part because they felt frustrated that the FDA was getting front run on the booster decision by the White House and to some extent the CDC as well.
So yeah, the White House, they came out and said, okay, we're going to have the boosters before the FDA. So now you got a power struggle going on. So, okay, here's my question. Rhetorical answer, whatever. If the FDA, the CDC, and the White House are battling among each other about the vaccine and the virus, and they don't know what's going on, why should I trust any of them? Because they're not even getting along among themselves. If you can't even agree upon what's happening with this thing, why would I step in the middle of that and just take whatever somebody says? Who do I believe? The White House, the FDA, the CDC? You see what I'm saying? 413 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is Anthony McQuaid. And I can't believe I actually got through the ABL.
Well, I'm glad you're on the line. And what's in your mind?
Well, I'd like to take it a little further than everyone is. The left has these useful idiots like the media and the rhinos that are working against the GOP and others. What they don't realize is that the useful idiots will be the ones that they come for and that will also be wiped out along with the rest of us if they go full blown and what they're trying to do.
Right.
Now, if that does happen, can you imagine this? If the system shuts down to the point where there's no electricity, the people that have, purchased all those, the 25-year food packages and everything like that and stocked up on stuff, that may be very well and good, but what are you going to cook it with? if there's no electricity, you have to train. And we've done a lot of camping in my family, and we're all military. And if you train and you camp a lot and you live off the land, you can actually go back to the old Western days before telegraphs. Because if they keep pushing what they're doing, the system will shut down. What are your thoughts on that?
Now, that's a lot there. So what's your specific question?
The question is, if the system shuts down, what is the people are going to be after what other people have?
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to be able to protect yourself and defend that off is to be ready to actually shoot. I mean, in the point of fight or flight, it's got to be fight to survive.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a serious problem, and I don't think people are really ready for that. Some of us are, obviously. A lot of people that are watching this show right now are prepared, but a lot of people aren't really prepared for that, and it's going to be an issue. It's going to be a serious problem if that were to ever happen. And again, back to the whole useful idiot thing, they're going to be the first ones that are out there kind of confused, like, hey, what's going on? It reminds me of Michael Avenatti when he was going on television for like 170 something times, and they're blowing his head up. Are you going to be the next president? You're going to really give Trump a hard time in 2020? He went from that to going to the penitentiary. It's like, how did that get here? Well, you're not useful anymore.
Exactly.
So now you go to jail.
You're not. It's like take Mitt Romney, for instance. When his days are over, it's going to be over. You know, people like that, like what's that other, Liz Cheney. Those people are what's going to try and bring the GOP down, along with the left. But that's just, what I wanted to touch on, and I just wanted to thank you for doing what you're doing. I've been watching you for a few years now, and you have great points, and you don't go out there without the facts. And that's one word that the left is allergic to, facts.
That's right.
So thank you for what you're doing, ABL, and I'll get back to the super chatters here, and just thank you. Deeply.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good night, all.
That's a great call. Yeah. I mean, these people, they don't understand. Useful idiots. Same thing with your man, what's his name? Andrew Cuomo. Same thing. On top of the world, book deal, going on TV all the time. Got his own little TV show, winning an Emmy. They shower him with praise. They shower him with love. But then when he was no longer useful, when they had enough, when all these Me Too things started to come out, oh, nah, well, you got to go now. He might even get brought up on criminal charges. They thought you went in the penitentiary. Ain't nothing. You go from being on the top of the world, sipping champagne in Paris, to cell block E, prisoner number 895558. That's how it goes. How did this happen? How did that get here? Well, you weren't aware of how they treat people like you. This is what happens. Enjoy. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's FA Ranger Xbox.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Did you see in Chicago where a bunch of black community leaders come out and they're all upset and they talk for a half an hour about the cop that was harassing the black woman at the dog park or something like that? They never really showed the story. They just showed it. I'm like, where are you guys when all these children are being shot every weekend? Like 5 kids were shot. Where were you at then? Not a peep. Not a single peep. But now you got your hand out looking for money. It's just ridiculous.
It's crazy, but, it's to the point where it's predictable, unfortunately. You got all these kids getting killed every single day, and there's no problem, not really. And as a matter of fact, if you try to say something about it, then you may even be called a racist. You are attacked for pointing out the obvious problem, but then when it comes time for a payday that could potentially happen, they want to be out there then complaining then. It's weird how that works.
Exactly. I just wanted to say one more thing about Karl Marx. The Italian Gentile, he was the father of fascism. Stalin, Lenin, and even Hitler studied under Karl Marx. Well, Karl Marx was a trust fund baby. His daddy gave him his paycheck every week, and after his dad died, his mom cut him off, and that's when he got really angry. But he was a worthless human being. He was a real piece of fecal. He belonged at the bottom of the septic tank as far as human people go, and this is the people the left idolizes. Fascism is not far right at all. Has nothing to do with the right. They're all leftist ideologies, just going by a different name and a little bit of blend to the flavor. But anyway, that's all I got for you, ABL. Love your show. Keep going, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
You too.
All right, great call. Yeah, that whole thing that, you know, trying to win that ghetto lottery, but them kids would get killed. It's no big deal, whatever. You know, he wasn't gonna make it anyway. That's the attitude they have, unfortunately. Let's get to a few more here. And thank y'all again for being here. Couldn't do it without you. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's get to some more. Let's go. 254, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Hey, brother, how you doing? My name is Joe. Let me get you off speaker. Hey, I was just calling in. I was watching the show a little bit, actually cleaning the house and stuff this time. Give you my 2 cents on a few things I've kind of had today. I'm living out here behind enemy lines in California due to work, not by choice, obviously. It was funny. I was actually driving into work today, seeing a woman protesting on the side of the road for the whole Gavin Newsom recall issue. And it's kind of funny. I ended up stopping to talk to her for a little bit. I was like, so, ma'am, what do you got going on? Why are you sitting out here protesting? You know, Larry Ellis is trying to get into position, things like that. What do you have against his policies? Stereotypical argument. She was just upset. She was one of the Republican in there. I was like, well, it's not looking too good out here in California. You know, talked about my buddy's businesses. They had some issues last year during the whole COVID pandemic shutdown thing they had going on out here in California. So a lot of people lost businesses and stuff. I was like, I mean, I don't know why y'all still want to keep this guy in office on things, but hey, moving on.
Right.
Same thing too. If another one I was going to bring up, the whole Afghanistan issue thing. When we had like Biden out there, he's like checking his watch, checking his thing. To me, I'm in the military, so perception's reality. Everybody talks about that all the time. We sit out there, perception's reality. So I mean, you see somebody out there, this guy is like doesn't care to render honors. He just has like this, man, why am I here type of look on his face. And you got like pictures of Trump, videos of Trump. That guy would be sitting out there, he's saluting, paying respects. He always shook people's hands. So, I mean, perception's reality. One of these looks good, one of them doesn't. And then, last but not least, one thing I was looking at too, something I've been talking about at work, things like that. It's kind of funny, like we sit there, we like look at some of the stuff I think we should be really focusing on too. Military side of the house is, you know, we're sitting over, guys like some of our leaders that are up there. Was it General Milley? You know, he's sitting over there. He's talked about it in like the last month. He's talking about how he wants to sit over there. They want to start pushing more CRT on the military side for training, or they want to sit over and start pushing more. He wants to learn more about these white domestic terrorism or white supremacists on this side of the world. Like we got bigger things to be worried about in the world. We got bigger things we should be looking at. You know, what about, you know, we got Southeast Asia, the whole issues that we have out there with China and some of their military forces out there. Like, why are we not expanding and worrying about our training for that? I don't think most of us would really care for a CRT training. You know, where we work together, we're a band of brothers, band of work together. We all sit over and do all these things. And I think we need to be focusing on training on that, preparing for upping our military, keeping them more war focused, or keeping us training until we can sit over and have a better, more war fighting efficiency rather than some of these ideologies that want to bestow upon us on our side of the world. But I just want to give you my 2 thoughts on that. Some stuff that's kind of like gone on my side of the world and some of the things we kind of seen out here. So, but hey, appreciate glad I got through. Appreciate the call. Good luck with the show. Good luck with everything else. Like watching the show. So appreciate it, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, great call. Right on. Let's get to a few more here. And thank y'all again for being here. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up if you've not done so already. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. We're going to keep a party going. Let's go. Okay, let's try. Wow, these calls are coming in so fast and furious. No Vin Diesel. Let's get to. Okay, hold on. 631 your line. I'm speaking to.
Is this Anthony?
Yes, it is.
Hi, it's Ann from Long Island, New York.
All right. Before we start, I got some noise in the background.
Let me turn you down a
There
little
we go.
bit because I know you're going to complain about that. The thing is, I don't think I've ever been this angry at this and disgusted with this country as I am now. What is going on? How do we overthrow this government? Can somebody please tell me? Can someone please tell me? I've never seen so many, one party that hates America and Americans like the Democrats. I don't know what else to say. The American people, the conservatives, normies, if you want to say that, should be overthrowing this government at this point. What's going on with Afghanistan, what's going on with the whole country is making me so sick. I mean, do you have any answers to this? I mean, I'm furious that they can say that I have to take a vaccine. I was a registered nurse for 42 years. I never took a flu shot. I never took a pneumonia shot. That's my choice. I don't think I ever had the flu. It's a virus. There's no cures for viruses. If Nancy Pelosi wanted to bring it in here, which she probably did, and I'm going to say that, because she was in China the first week in January. And all of a sudden in March, New York and New Jersey, we were flooded with it in 2020. That I knew it was like writing on the wall. Like she brought that right in here. I really wish, I thought they were the party of no walls. Meanwhile, they have the Capitol covered with a wall, and anything can come in here, kill our children. What they're doing to our next generation is sick. My kids went to private, ultra-private schools. So I never had to worry about my kids because I worked 12-hour shifts every day so that they could be protected while I was at work. I did not have to worry about the public school system, especially I was born and raised in New York, and I totally disagree with you about New York because it's the people running New York that are destroying New York because Manhattan has everything. I love Manhattan. So I've always lived on Long Island. I've always lived in the summers on Fire Island. We had a yacht. We lived there. I lived there all summer as a child. Grew up there, and it was a beautiful life out here. I hated the South. Hated Florida. Yeah. We used to go on vacations down there, and it was disgusting. I hated it. I mean, I took my kids to, like, Disney World and things like that, but that was no big deal either. I'm like, what is that? So, California, I always hated, even when it was, like, normal. No homeless people. I never liked California. The people are different. I'm like, what? You know, am I imagining this? Everybody's on the beach with all plastic surgery, blonde, you know, fake everything, you know, lifting weights, nobody fat, nothing like New York. And I'm like, what the heck? Where am I? You know, everybody's fake over there, or they're looking to get into the business or something. But I gotta tell you, I have never been so disturbed by what's going on. Now they let in ISIS, 100 in the middle of the night, over 100. That's what I heard. In the middle of the night, let them into our country. ISIS.
Yeah.
Not that they weren't already here. I know they were here. There's no walk zones and things. But I honestly feel that if we don't overthrow this government soon, it's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be World War III. They're all planning already. How did he cut off that pipeline and give it to Russia? How did that go through?
That's a good question.
And the audacity to make a statement, Biden this is, said, when it says we the people, that's the government, not the people. I said, really? Who votes for you and hires you and pays your salary? We the people out here, the workers, that are workers, that we get taxes taken out of our salary. We're the people, not the government. They really should be fired. Every last one of them should be tried for treason, because I've never seen anything like this, or I couldn't even fathom this kind of destruction of a country that was the best country in the world when President Trump was in office.
Right on.
Seriously.
I'm gonna cut you right here, but I got a lot of calls online, so I got to get to a few more. Thank you for this. I appreciate
I'm
you.
just saying, I gotta scream out because I can't take it anymore. I don't
got
know
you.
what else they're gonna do next.
Well, hopefully we don't go too far down the rabbit hole. But I thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right, I love you.
Thank
love
you.
your show.
Thank you.
you.
All righty. Shout out to her for the call. Let's get to a few more. And let's go to, a little bit too slow to the trigger on that one. Let's go. Okay, there we go. 215 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
Hey, can you hear me clearly?
I hear you well.
Hold on, let me turn the speaker down. All right, so basically, I saw what happened with the mother. I seen the video where her son got taken away because she wasn't vaccinated, and honestly, it's like for the judge to even just randomly just ask that question, it's just like, first of all, you can tell he's just power tripping. Because who just randomly just asked somebody that question out of nowhere that has nothing to do with the subject? You're fighting a custody case. That's her being vaccinated or not. That's not your business. That is not the judge's place. And I'm glad that people stood up to him.
Right, exactly. It's not his place at all. You're talking about child support and custody. Keep it right there. Let's not get into this other stuff.
Yeah, but honestly, I didn't really follow up with the story. So it seemed like you followed up with the story. It seemed like you followed up with the story. You know what else happened after that?
Well, the judge, reversed he reversed his order, but it had already been in place for about 3 weeks. And I believe that the only reason why he reversed it is because of all the attention that it got, because of my video, other videos, the news, just outrage universally from all over the country and all over the world.
Oh, well, honestly, that's a good thing. It's a good thing that case got a lot of attention because he got a ton of backlash. So he probably decided he basically didn't want to lose his job, because once you get that kind of attention, see, the thing is, like you said, I feel like the judge knew he was wrong for that, because why would you care if you got that much attention? Because he didn't want to lose his job. That's really what it was.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to touch on, when I found out that all those troops that had died, that had passed away because of Biden withdrawing all the troops, and they took over Afghanistan. They took over Afghanistan, the Taliban, mind you, and they sent troops back over there, if I'm not mistaken, to rescue Americans. And at least 13 of them got killed.
Yep.
And I was sorry, I'm not going to talk too much, but I was talking with a friend of mine earlier, and he was thinking about me and him was talking about it. He said, how come they don't just they need to send troops back over there and just like take over Afghanistan, like make it their new little country and all that stuff. I said, that's not a good idea, because that's like, they don't really want that, even though they like their protection, they kind of need it. Majority of them don't really want us over there. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, us being in Afghanistan.
Basically, what I'm saying is, he wants us to go back over there. He wants the troops to go back over there and take over Afghanistan. I'm pretty sure you probably think it's not a good idea.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it makes no sense. You didn't already left and you got deals. It's like you can't keep going back. If you're gonna make a plan, just stick to your plan. Don't make a plan, break the plan, make a plan. Like, just stick to what you're gonna do. So I don't think we need to go back, because now it's already the deal's already it's already over with now. We didn't already capitulated to the Taliban. We didn't already did it. So what's the point in going back?
Yeah, I hear you on that. And what's the point of going back? And one more thing before you hang up, I saw Brandon Tatum's video earlier, and about how many children are still getting murdered in these inner cities and black BLM. Well, the BLM doesn't care. They've already got their money from all of last year's, and they've already got Joe Biden in office. They don't really care as much anymore. So, and plus the money dried up, and they're not getting as much attention anymore. Even though police brutality there's been some cases of actual police brutality that's been going on that I've seen happen against black people, but it's not a white guy against a black person against a black person. But nope, they don't know that never reached mainstream media at all. It does. You just don't hear nothing from that.
Nah, because it doesn't really matter. They don't really care about that. All they really care about is things that, move the emotional needle. Just the regular everyday violence. So nobody care. That's just like regular. But then when you could say a white person did something, a white person is racist, even if they're not racist, then that's what drives the clicks. That's what drives the attention. That's what drives the money machine. Black on black violence. Who cares? Matter of fact, if you say anything about it, you're racist. That's the whole thing. They don't really care about that. It's all about getting that money. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good one, ABL.
Same to you. All right. Yeah, they don't care about that black on. That's the actual problem in these areas. But who cares, right? Why worry about that? You're worried about the white man, the racist white man, right? The mythical right. They always talk about how racist the white man is, white man this, white man that. So when they finally find one, it's like if you've been fishing in the same pond for 30 years and you finally find this one elusive fish you never found before. It's like a rare Pokemon. You want to show it off and tell everybody you got it. You keep getting the same old little raggedy little grouper or whatever you always get, and who cares? Throw it back in the water. We don't want that. That's black on black violence. And once you get that rare, you might also trying to catch you a little bull shark or something like that. Oh my, you're gonna show that off. It's the same thing with the white man, and even if it's not really the fish you think it is, if it's close enough, that's enough to make a whole big stink over. That's the point. But I'll move on. Let's get to a few more. Alrighty, caller, you on the line, 847. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Josh.
Alrighty, what's going on?
I just have a quick, more casual question.
All right.
I'm wondering if you're ever going to bring back your gaming channel.
I don't know. That's a good question. If I'm able to get some time, which I have none right now, but if I can get some time, then I think I would bring it back. But I probably would just cover like gaming topics on it because my time is just so limited. That's the only thing. But I would like to. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I feel that.
Right.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate your content. Have a good one.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good question. That gaming channel, I just don't have no time. I barely got enough time to put out what I put out and write the articles. I just, I would love to, but it's only so many hours and minutes in the day. And I gotta sleep. I gotta get my full 7 to 8 of sleep because I do so much mental work. I got some good advice from, older man. And shout out to you. I won't say nobody's name because I don't know if you want to be out there like that. But he told me, he was like, you need to get your full 7 to 8 hours of sleep because you do mental work all day. You're reading all day and you're thinking about things all day. Your mind has to be sharp. See, when I was a young man working at like Oak Country Buffet and just washing dishes, I could do that. I could do it with my eyes closed. That's easy. Like soft labor jobs like that, it's nothing. I'm not really doing that much. So I don't have to really necessarily get a bunch of sleep for that. Because what am I really doing? I can be up there yawning, half sleep and do that. But I can't have a sharp and quick mind being on this show, taking calls and people asking me questions. And I got to think about certain things, access a memory bank, and I got to read all day and be able to not only just read it, but also comprehend. A lot of people have issues with reading comprehension, and I don't have that. But if I am not rested, then that happens. That's why I took a nap there one day because I ain't getting enough sleep. So I'm going to get a quick nap. Then I can just recharge myself. So when I'm on the show, I can be quick and able to answer questions and run the whole operation because I do everything. But my point is that the time just ain't there. I got to sleep. I got to record the video, edit, write the articles, do all the other stuff, eat, and I'm married, so I just don't have no time. All right, let's get to some more here. Let's go. All right. 828, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 828, hello. Going once, going twice. All righty. Again, callers, if you're calling in, please be ready on the phone. Have the phone to your ear. If you're trying to look at the screen, you're not going to catch it because there's a delay. When you see the screen is going to be behind, you need to keep your ear to the phone when you're calling in. All right, let's go to the next one here. Let's go. All righty, caller, 757, who am I speaking to?
Tammy.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi, ABL. I'm from Virginia Beach.
All righty, Virginia Beach.
Yeah, just two things I wanted to say real quick. I was actually watching another YouTuber's channel for the first time last night, and he had a caller from Poland who had come over here 20 or 30 years ago, and just listening to him talk about he's terrified of what's happening in America was kind of eye-opening. But also I've heard from a couple of different people that they're actually building FEMA camps for people who are unvaxxed. And I was just curious, would you get vaccinated if that was a threat? Like if they were going to force us to go to that, would you get the vaccination?
Nah, if they're talking about, hey, if you don't get the shot, you're going to go to the camp. Well, I'm going to be like, hey, I mean, come take me. come take me. Come, I'm a pretty heavy dude. I'm 215 pounds. So let's make it happen. Because now at that point, now it's going to be a physical battle, and you're going to see that happen all over the country if that happens. So nah, I'm not going to be able to do it.
I was just curious because it's a little scary to think about. But anyway, if you ever come back to Virginia, I'd love to meet you and your wife. But anyway, love your show and thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller from VB, 2 down, Virginia Beach. But no, I'm not going. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do it. Because I saw that they were building the quote-unquote quarantine camp in Australia. Like they showed it on, like they were advertising it. Like they were proud of it. It wasn't even in secret. It wasn't like a conspiracy theory. They put it on Twitter with an official checkmark account talking about they're going to build a FEMA camp at Toowoomba. If you guys live in Australia or know about Australia, you know where that is. It's like outside of Sydney or somewhere. I don't know. Don't get me the line. But I know that they said they're going to build a quarantine camp They were showing the construction actively going on. So yeah, I'm not going to no camp, period. Yeah. Everybody thinks I'm a small guy or I'm not as big as what I am. I'm 6'3", 215 pounds. I'm a pretty big dude. So if you want to take me, then hey man, good luck. Good luck. Because you're not going to just be like, hey man, you want to go over there? You want to get on that train? No, I don't want to go on the train. Thank you. I don't want to. I like where I live right now. I'm gonna stay right here in my house. Oh, we're gonna make you. Oh, okay, cool. Well, let's get to some wrestling. I like wrestling. 941, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Talk to ABL.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, turn your speakers down for me, please.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Turn your speakers down for me, please, in the background.
Yeah. I'm watching on YouTube.
Okay, turn that down for me, please.
Okay, hold on. I'm wondering if you heard about Bill Gates.
What about Bill Gates?
I heard he got busted in South Carolina for sex trafficking and putting metal in shots and all kinds of other stuff. His wife had a deal to turn him in to stay where he was, but he got caught up in Wyoming in a ranch up there with a little girl chained to a bed. This is what I heard. I'm wondering if you know if it's true.
I doubt that's true, because if that's true, I probably would have heard about that. It probably would be all over the place. So I don't think that's true.
He's supposed to be in a military court, JAG court. I don't know. I'm just wondering if you know anything about it.
Yeah, I doubt that's true. I've not heard about that at all.
Okay. All right. I like your show. I've got my Jamaican friends listening to you. I'm from West by God, Virginia, so
West by God,
in Florida
that's
now.
right. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. You take care. Listen to you all the time.
And I thank you for the call.
Okay. Have a good one. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller from West by God, West Virginia. I love it. All right. I got time for a few more. Oh, the number to call, you already know what time it is. 434-658-1220. There you go, Bill from the Hill. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, boss. Right there in the chat. And let's go ahead and keep rocking here. Let's go. 720, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, this is Scotty from down in Shelby County. I talked to you last week about the ammo shortage and stuff.
All righty.
Yeah, I was just calling back, man. I saw that stuff that you posted earlier last week about that judge in Illinois taking their mother's rights away to go see their children and stuff like that over not being vaccinated. That's ridiculous.
100%. Absolutely.
I mean, how can that not be considered criminal to just take her rights away from her like that? I thought all that stuff solidified in documents and stuff like that, in court systems already. He doesn't have the power to just do that, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, they shouldn't have that, right? And, even though the guy had rescinded it, it doesn't matter because he still did it. And it still was in effect for about 2.5, 3 weeks. So he needs to go penitentiary, big rocks, little rocks right away.
Yeah, no doubt at all. At the very, very least, have his power as a judge taken away. Those people are very powerful people and very influential in our communities. They can't be doing that kind of stuff. I mean, people are going to start thinking, oh my God, just like one last few callers was talking about having like internment camps for people that aren't vaccinated. That's ridiculous. I mean, I can't even believe that people are thinking that. But I heard the same thing like during the Obama administration and stuff, that they were building camps for people and stuff like that. I don't know how far that would go in this country. I think I agree with you. A lot of people would be pushing back, and saying, come take me type of thing. Same thing, like with gun control and situations like that. It's too ingrained into our society in this country, I believe, to just go ahead and take people's rights away from them. It's the basis and the foundation of this country, the people's rights and it's generational. People have been brought up generations, and they ain't going to take that away from people in this country. So I don't know where that's going to go, but it probably ain't going to be good.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good thing. They try to go that way. If they want to go that way, that's not going to end very well.
No. And when I first started listening tonight, I was listening to talking about Afghanistan and stuff, and saying how they spent probably $8 to $10 trillion over there. We could have bulldozed that whole country and probably built them all mansions for that much money.
I mean, really,
people in that country.
It's just a whole big waste, and people were eating off of that. I mean, a lot of these contractors and everybody made money off of that, but the so-called goal was obviously not met. So at the end of it, it was a waste. Although some people got rich off of that.
Oh yeah. Halliburton, a lot of big companies got super rich off of that.
That's right.
And I knew people that were on bases over there, and they knew people that were running the mess halls and things of that nature over there, and they're saying, yeah, we're billing for meals. Everybody would have to eat 5-6 times a day on this base to bill for that many meals. I don't understand where it's all going, and they were just paying. It was ridiculous, but I'm sure that's only the tip of the iceberg.
That's right, absolutely.
But, all right, man. Well, I'll let you go. I'll let you get to the next caller and stuff. I really appreciate taking my call and my time, and keep coming with your content. We'll keep watching, brother.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep.
All righty, shout out to the caller. Let's go to some more here. Let's go 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi. This is Larry from North Carolina. I'll just make a couple of comments and I'll hang up and listen to what you have to say about them. The first one is, I wonder if there's treason for the president and for the heads in Pentagon, because it's hard to believe that the military would leave all that equipment behind, pull the troops, and then go back to help rescue people. But I can't believe that happened. So I really think that there could have been something planned, because the Democrats in China, they're probably pretty tight, or maybe they left it for the Taliban to use. But I just can't believe that was such a rush, and they left all that equipment. And then number two, for a long time I felt that the leadership of the Democrat Party, they do not like the Constitution / Bill of Rights. They're always fighting against it. They say they do, but I think they're not telling us the truth. And they're always trying to expand it or change it, and so I don't understand how they don't like our individual freedoms. Anyway, I'm going to hang up and turn on the computer and listen to you, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate
Bye
you.
now.
All right,
okay,
now.
You're welcome. Bye now.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I mean, it's weird. People, I don't know, people, they want freedom when they want it, but they don't want it when it doesn't apply to them. But I say all the time, I support freedom. Like, here's a prime example. I'm a proponent of gun rights, right? You have that right, Constitution, Second Amendment, all that good, right to bear arms. So I'm a proponent of gun rights. You should have the right to purchase a gun if you want to. I don't think you should be mandated to purchase a gun, but if you want to, go ahead. If you want to carry it, go ahead. You should have that freedom. Now, the same thing with the shot. I'm not going to get it. I don't see the need for it, but if somebody wants to, go ahead. That's the right to do it. I'm not going to say you can't get it. Go get it if you want it. If it helps you, if it can make sense for you, go out there and go for it. But me personally, I'm straight. I support the freedom. I'm not going to try to ban either thing. Now, there are certain things you can't do, obviously. I think as a society, we got to draw a line somewhere. But I'm not just going to be like, ban, 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 ban. I mean, at a certain point, do you have freedom anymore if you do that? But there are certain things I think that we can all agree on, or we should all agree on, that shouldn't be permitted in society. And I won't go down the rabbit hole of what those things are, but you already know, just put two and two together, you already know what it is. 609, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Tom from New Jersey.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, how are you? Listen, I wasn't able to listen to what you've been saying in the last 10 minutes, but I do want us to bring to a lot of people's attention that what happened with the weapons? What happened with the weapons in Afghanistan? I mean, we left them more helicopters and equipment than Australia.
Yeah.
What happened with all this? We just gave away the free weapons, or did somebody make some money off of this? This is something I really think they need to ask.
Now, here's what they say, or what the narrative they want to put out there is. They say that they left the equipment for the Afghan military because they couldn't just leave them with nothing because they got to defend themselves against the Taliban or whoever. However, they knew, according to this Joe Biden phone call, according to the deal that Trump made in 2020, they knew the Taliban would take over eventually anyway. So either they were lying about the Afghan government getting it and they wanted to give it to the Taliban, but they say the Afghan government just as a smokescreen because they knew it would go to the Taliban anyway, or they left so hastily they didn't have time to take out all their equipment. They just had to just up and leave in the middle of the night, and whatever they could get on the plane, they just took. Personal items, CD player, wallet, keys, boots, put them on a plane and go. That's kind of what it seems like. Either it's the former or the latter. Either way, it's incompetent to just leave all that equipment and just give it to the Taliban and let them have it. It's crazy.
Correct. But think about the aircraft, right? Now, I know for sure the aircraft must be sitting in open positions somewhere. The aircraft are stored on airfields or in hangars, anywhere like that. How is it that we cannot eliminate the aircraft, which could be a threat to us or anyone in the region at any time? Granted, they gave it to the Taliban, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense that we would leave such an arsenal behind for these people who already are showing ill intent to all of us.
Well,
the aircraft are sitting there. They can't just take them out over the horizon and end the problem before it begins.
Well, that's a good point. But again, we were dealing with the Taliban making deals with them, diplomatic stuff with them. So if we attack them, see, part of the deal that we had with them was that they're not going to attack us or our allies.
Right.
Now, they may attack their citizens, but that's a different story. They're not attacking us. If we're being attacked, it's probably by ISIS. So if we attack the Taliban, now we're breaking deals. Now, how do we look to the international community? Oh, you guys made a deal with the Taliban. Then not only did you break it, you went ahead and attacked them. How can you do that? So if there's a deal with some other country, what's to prevent them from thinking that we'll do the same thing to them? So we're just in a diplomatic situation we can't really do. If we attack the Taliban, now we got the Taliban on our back when they weren't, and ISIS and Al-Qaeda. You make the whole situation worse. What should have happened was the proper extraction from Afghanistan. Yeah, rather than just leaving all the stuff right there, just do it properly. We wouldn't be here right now dealing with this dilemma.
That is very true. But I also want to bring something else, just in case. I know you're not into conspiracies very much, and neither am I. But when certain things start to make sense, like someone was definitely paid for these weapons. I don't care what anyone. That's a lot of weaponry we just left behind. Arms dealers are going to be after it. I don't know if anyone's, but that's a lot of weaponry left behind. Also, I feel like if you really think about a lot of this stuff that's going on between Afghanistan and the issues we're having in the region, it all kind of goes back to this idea I have that we have some issues with China.
Okay, I didn't hang up on him, but it just hung up. So, hey, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you. But I don't know what happened to the connection. I didn't do it. 615 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 615, hello.
Hey, is
Is that you?
Yes, it is. Turn your speakers down for me, please.
All right, I'm doing it right now. Hold on 1 second. All right, can you hear me now?
I hear you well. What's happening?
All right, what's up, man? It's Boom Boom Boom. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Man, this whole thing is a joke, dude. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm just going ahead and speak for everybody. Joe Biden is garbage. This whole thing is ridiculous. The whole scheme ain't nothing but an arms deal. He owes somebody something, because why would you leave and leave? Don't even get me started on service dogs. That just pissed me off altogether. But he's leaving what did they say, $85 billion worth of helicopters, just helicopters and tanks and, man, whatever you can, Jeeps, whatever you can think of. 85, is it million? It's billions, right? 85 billion.
It's definitely in the billions, because some of these things alone are in double-digit millions. Just like one of these vehicles might be in double-digit millions, just for one of them. Like some of these Apaches and all that, yeah, you're getting into the millions, just one of those.
Yeah. Why would you leave it over there? If you was the president, would you not drop a bomb on that when you left? Come on, man. Let's be honest. Would you not drop a bomb on that when you left?
But you
Yes,
can't.
You would.
You can't do that, because if the Taliban take it, now you bombing the Taliban, but you already didn't say you're not going to bomb the Taliban in the deal. So if you bomb them, any Americans that are left in Afghanistan are going to be dead instantly. So now you just kind of stuck. What should have happened was take that equipment when you leave, rather than just leaving so hastily. It just left the middle of the night, didn't take no equipment, just left the base a mess, and now we're dealing with the consequences.
Yep. So I had a friend of mine that said, I said, why would you leave that much equipment behind? My friend said, you know how much money it would take to get that equipment over here? And I'm like, what? Dude, and if you think about it, I don't know if you saw the statistics of all, like, if you saw the graphs of all the, dude, like, so many guns. Like guns, man, so many guns, so much it's so much artillery that it's almost fake, but it's real. We get it. It's left over there. We've seen videos. You've seen many a video. It's real. It's truckload by the truckload of guns, machine guns, AK-47s. They left it over there. It's just mind blowing. To why wouldn't you just take what belongs to us? Put it on a C-17, throw it in there, fill it up, bring it over here, because you're bringing all these empty planes over here anyway. You left so many civilians over there anyway. You know what you did, Joe Biden. You know what you did. He knows what he did, man, and don't even care, dude. That's what's sad. And we all see it. And now the lefties are starting to see it. And I'm going to end this phone call with this, and I'm going to say this, ABL. 100% of my black friends voted for Joe Biden. Guess what? 100% of my black friends have Joe Biden remorse, homie. 100% of them. Every one of them are talking, you know what? And they can't stand him. They see what he's doing, and they know what's going on, man. I believe that everybody's going to see what I don't know what's really going to happen. But, man, we know what's happening. We just got to get to the normies and be like, look, this is what he's doing. This is what the left is doing. Do you really want Kamala in there? No. Do you really want him in there? No. What's next, ABL? We don't know. What are we going to do, man?
I mean, we just got to keep on trucking. But I think that the people that have remorse, we got to keep them with that same energy come next time to vote. And be like, you see what happened last time you did this, don't do it again, and let it be a path forward for the future, because this is just one moment in time. We got a whole lot more time left. So do right the next time.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But do you think, I might say this last question, I'll let you go. Do you think that the next time around that they will be able to pull the whole Dominion thing again? Or do you think it will be fair?
I don't think so, because a lot of states are passing their own voter integrity laws. Texas just did it. I think Georgia did it. Tennessee did it. So a lot of these states are passing their own laws. And it's going to be a battle just to get that whole thing squared away. And I think once we get some better leadership in state government, especially, and eventually the federal rallies, we'll be able to shore that whole thing up. But that's going to be a process that I think happened because everybody got caught flat-footed once the virus hit, and then everything was shut down, and they did the universal mail-in ballot. So I think we'll be able to fix it, but it'll take a little bit of time. But we'll get back on track with that.
Man, we can only hope so, ABL. Thank you so much for taking my call, man. It's been a while since I talked to you, man. It sounds good. It feels good to hear your voice, man. And keep it going. Love what you're doing. Love every single show. Watch you every single day. My wife watches every single day. My whole family watches you every single day. Thank you so much, man. And keep pushing, man. We love you.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. See you.
All right. Shout out to Boom 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 Howard for that. But that will be the last call. If you couldn't get on, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. You know who to blame. And it's not me. It's not my fault. All right. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you guys. You guys have been the best audience in the entire YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's been watching, sharing, commenting, liking, subscribing, retweeting, emailing, whatever you do to support the show. I appreciate you for what you do. Thank you to all the super chatters. You guys have been fantastic. If you want to hear this particular show as an audio only podcast, go to your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc., and search for ABL Live. I should pop right on up. There's also a link in the description box to the podcast. It'll take you to Anchor, and from Anchor, you're able to go wherever you want. I look at my stats, and it says most of you guys are on Apple iPhone watching it, and I think it's like 40% iPhone, 30% Android. I got Apple and Android for work purposes, not because I'm trying to floss and be cool. But shout out to everybody that listens to the audio podcast of this show. It'll be available tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. I got it recorded right here on this mixer. So after I'm done, I just end it, edit it right quick. Take me about 2 minutes to edit, just a little top, just to increase the volume on it, and chop the top in the back, put it up, and it's done. So that'll be a wrap. Shout out to all the mods for doing what you do. I got super chats on deck. I'm gonna get to those right quick, and then we'll wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. And again, thank y'all for being here. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with us live on the show. All right, let me go back to where I left off on the super chats. Let me see here. All right, we got quite a few I got to read. All right. Buff versus Windshield says free housing, food and needles. Now it's free money. Why not just hand out? Oh, I read that one. That's a good one, though. Thank you to Shay Ragnarsson, who says the Javelin missiles on board Black Hawk computer weapons guidance systems will be reverse engineered by China, Russia, and Iranians. Pardon me, they'll be hacked into, of course. Buff versus Windshield says most people who get the virus are feeling fine in under a week. Around 85%, most don't even feel a thing. It's hard to find that data, though. Exactly, because everyone may not even get the test to see if they have it. Some may have already had it and not even gone to the doctor. So how do we really know what the cases really are? How can anybody really tell? If there's a push to get more testing and at the same time the numbers go up, is it because there's a surge or is it because there's a surge in testing? Which one is it? Labrable says instead of a humanitarian effort to airlift Afghans to safety, there should be airlifting people out of commie cities like New York City and Chicago. That'd be a humanitarian effort to be proud of. Right on. Matthew Phillips says these big bruised toes and the pointed toe high heels doing gang signs. ABL, no lie, I laughed hard. Thank you to Ron for becoming a ABL superstar. I appreciate you. Thank you to Butt vs. Windshield, who says ICUs are expensive. Most hospitals run their ICUs at 80% plus. If they are lower, hospitals lower the number of beds or wards. ICU percentage full is bull. Correct. Thank you to AM, who says, yes, thank you. I'm glad you're here. Your audience is awesome. Thank you to Francis, who says, let's lobby to get ABL to join the Daily Wire. Shout out to them, but I love being independent. I don't like really I go over there to be a guest, but I don't want to join. Thank you to Colt Haterate, who says the caller from Long Island is spot on. Taking the government back by force is exactly what the Second Amendment was intended for. Why defend gun rights otherwise? Thank you to Thomas for the T emoji. I appreciate you for that. Thank you to Stephanie Fisher, who says, thank you, ABL. Everybody, let's keep our trust in God. Stand on his word and be his peace. Be in peace, pardon me. Worrying only brings a smile to Satan. Pray incessantly. Shout out to Frank, who says, we got 90% of the people out of Afghanistan. Joe Tato is an optimist. The diaper isn't half empty, it's half full. Thank you to Angel, who says, hey, ABL, a Larry Elder victory will be awesome for him in California. He is a positive conservative force. Right on. Love versus Windshield says, emotions overrule facts to most people. They used to be found on interwebs very quickly. Ancient Greeks knew it. Now try and find that information. Rebecca Metter says, a school shooting happened in my area today and we need more police, but the city wastes money on a courthouse and a science center instead. Was that out there in Carolina? I saw that. I think it was one kid that got shot. He died. Rest in peace to him. Shout out to Philip for the donation. Thank you to Derna 1804, who says, in 2009, they delayed until December to announce the surge because of politics. As a result, reinforcements did not arrive until the fighting season was over. Politics interfering in military logistics all the time. They interfere in military logistics and in health, as we see what's going on. The FDA say one thing, the White House say something else, the CDC says something else. They're quarreling back and forth. All the while they say trust the science. Whose science? Which science? What scientists? They can't even agree among themselves in the federales. And why just take their word for it? Why can't I hear anyone else's point of view? Why must it only come from the federales who can't even agree on what they want to do from moment to moment? It's so dumb. Let's see. You're So Cool 23 says, didn't Obama give weapons to another country or something along those lines, asking for a friend with this emoji right here? Yeah, Mexico, the Fast and Furious kerfuffle. Well, that's just one thing he did. I'm sure there's some foreign, like far away stuff, Middle East stuff. But the Fast and Furious kerfuffle, him and Eric Holder had the great idea, the brilliant 3,000 IQ idea to run guns across the border from, I think, New Mexico, Arizona to Mexico, to give the guns to the cartel with the hopes that they would go to the top guys and they would be shooting them and they'd be able to track the guns to the top guys. The stupidest thing in the world. And of course, they did not track the guns ever to any kind of top dogs in the cartels. And some of these guns were used in murders and all types of stuff. 2,000 guns they trafficked to Mexico trying to find the top dogs in the cartels. Even your local dope boy in Baltimore knows not to let the kingpin touch the pistols. I mean, the dumbest people in the world are in the federal government right now. I'm talking about eating crayons. Shout out to Marines. No disrespect. Hoorah, all that good stuff. That was in Marines. Love y'all. Shout out to Bo versus Windshield, who says Dominion is still refusing to comply with court orders to release data on the Arizona audit. Thank you to Gamarine 5274, who says Joe Biden instead of Joe Biden. And thank you to Bryden Phillips, who says great show as always. Hey, thank y'all for being here. Couldn't do it without you, but that will be a wrap for me. I'll be back again. What's the day? Wednesday. I'll be back tomorrow on Brandon Tatum's channel for the live stream. If he does it, it'd be me, Brandon Tatum, and two special guests. I don't know who they're going to be right now, so I can't say it, but you got to tune in. If we do it, I'll put it right on the community tab, and you can go straight to the video from there. So check it out tomorrow. That'll be 9:30 Eastern time, 9:30 p.m. And I'll be back here live on Saturday, of course, at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be a wrap. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.